Good evening and welcome to the April 18th, 2024 Lakeville Parks Commission meeting. LakeCAM is recording our meeting tonight. Is there anybody else present recording our meeting? Nobody is. Present tonight are Scott Holmes, Paula Houle, Mike Smith, our clerk Peter Murdy, and myself, Melissa Turcott. Our first item on our agenda is announcements from the clerk. Got any, Peter?
I have none.
None? Okay. Our second item on the agenda is to elect a park commission chairperson and vice chairperson. Does anybody want to make a nomination for chairperson?
I'd like to nominate Mike Smith.
Anything else?
Oh, should I second?
It's up to you if that's what you want.
Well, there's only two or three of us that I second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Scott, how do you vote?
Aye.
Paula, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mike, how do you vote?
I guess aye.
I'm gonna vote no, so that's 3-1. That passes. Mike Smith is now our chairperson. Any nominations for a vice chairperson?
I nominate Melissa Turcott.
I will respectfully decline that. Anybody else?
I nominate Scott Holmes.
I second
Anybody
it.
here want to be on this board?
Scott,
What?
you're
Okay.
okay. All right, I'll second Scott Holmes as vice chairperson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, welcome Scott, vice chairperson Scott Holmes. Michael, would you like to take over this meeting?
Being that I don't know what it's about, I would prefer that you finish this, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, meet with representatives of Freetown Lakeville Athletic Association to discuss the maintenance and usage of the ball fields at Ted Williams Camp. Come on up, gentlemen. You can introduce yourselves.
Right here?
Okay, we're jumping right
Get you
in.
in, get you out.
Yep.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. Thank you.
It's the first we've met, haven't we?
For me, it is, yes.
Have you been before the board?
Nope, it's the first time for me.
I came to a meeting, I don't know,
Yeah, I was gonna say you
a
look
couple years
familiar.
ago,
Okay.
maybe.
Well, thanks for coming.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm Jake Robitaille, president for Freetown Lakeville Athletic Association.
And Mark Sass, Fields Director for Freetown Lakeville Athletics.
Okay. So we had a couple questions because we know you're based out of Freetown, right? So we had a couple questions because the fields don't seem to be used like they used to be used. Therefore, they're not maintained like they used to be maintained. And we have, do you have both of the sheds behind the ball fields or just one of them?
I'll be honest, I don't know the history of the sheds.
No, what are you using now? I think Melissa needs.
Oh, what are we
Oh,
using?
yes,
We're using both of them.
Both
right
of them?
now, yeah.
All right, because for some time, one of them, the one with the gate that goes up and down,
Mhm.
hasn't been locked. So anybody can just open it up and get in, and then, things happen. So that's an issue that we have.
Okay.
The
We
other,
have-
Easy enough to put a lock on, yeah. We have no problem with that.
yeah, it's a different lock because I did that same thing.
It's the
Yeah.
roll door, so you should be able to slide it in and then
There should
we
be
just
a
use the
slide
combo
on
Yeah,
lock.
there's not.
Yeah.
There was a slide. There is
Okay.
no longer a slide
Okay.
because I
Okay.
thought that same thing. And I went out and bought locks, and then they're like, "Well, you can't use those locks."
And there was a golf cart in there.
Yes,
so
there is the card in there as well.
That's very dangerous, so that's why we want it secured.
Okay,
Right,
Yeah,
and
we
then
that's easy enough
We
to
just don't want it
rectify.
driving down the road.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Easy-
we don't want
easy
anyone
fix.
taking the cart down the road either.
and the other shed houses the lights.
Correct.
Okay, so that needs to be cleaned up, and we need access to those lights. So there has to be a pathway going around to get to them.
Okay, that's easy enough. We were talking about that as well, to clean out both sheds and then probably move all of the other product into the larger shed.
Okay.
And then, so that would clear out a pathway to the smaller shed. On the issue of the lights, I know half the lights aren't working. We had a game there last Wednesday, I believe, and probably half the lights on every pole are working.
Did you report it to anyone?
So I
We have
did
multiple
reach out to
times.
Pete Murdy.
Oh,
Multiple
okay.
years.
Yeah,
So I
it's
just-
been
I'm
going.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
been
no,
for a few years. I know.
Yeah, it has been reached out several times over the past few years.
The problem we had is we need to know what bulb it is. Because if we have to bring a truck in
Same.
to go up and look, well, I mean,
We wouldn't know.
we didn't put them in.
Did we put them in?
No, they were put in by the Lakeville Baseball Association. the Freetown Lake,
Yeah.
the LPA. They were put in by the LPA when they built it,
Okay,
We
okay?
paid for it. All the associations who did that paid for those lights.
okay.
And
When
the
you,
problem
sorry,
is-
when you say all the associations,
Well, it was,
No,
it
Parks
was,
Commission?
it was, well, it was LPA, but then it was Little League and stuff.
Well, whatever, little,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
Little
it
League,
was baseball who paid for those lights.
okay, thank
It
you.
wasn't the parks.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Okay, yeah, see, we're not familiar either, right?
No,
because we
no,
don't-
no, I know you're
so-
not, I know you're not. But the problem we've got is somehow we've got to track down what it is, because if we rent a truck just to come down and look and see what the bulb is,
No, I understand you to pay twice to do it. I
Yeah,
understand, but
yeah.
I don't know how we would even go about to figure out what
Russ-
Paul
Russ
was. Is there
Curran
any
was the-
history for
Russ
like
Curran was the
purchasing?
director when they were built.
Do they have any history for like purchasing the lights and what it is?
Yeah,
Or- 'cause-
we go back, I mean, who helped us at first was MSG, Middleborough, and what? Middleborough Gas and Electric came, and then, I guess the problem is that it could be a ballast. If it's a ballast, then it's not the bulb, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the fixture.
But then, as Scott said, everybody, that was it, everyone wiped their hands, so then we couldn't find
How
one
old
person
are
to
they?
do it.
Let's see, Corey was playing, so
2000
he's 26,
5,
yeah.
about 20
So,
years.
I am an electrician, so they're probably either a mercury vapor or a metal halide. You can use a mercury vapor in a metal halide, but you cannot use a metal halide in a mercury vapor. You can't really tell unless you go up there. That's
Right.
the only way.
Okay, thanks.
Right, so we
But
got
so
an
you're saying
estimate
that
on new
mercury would
lights.
work for either one?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it, you know what I'm saying?
It's
I
not the right
can't
one.
tell you if it is a metal halide or a mercury vapor, and it will work, but it might not work a long period of time, because it is
Okay.
not the right ballast
Not the
for
right
it.
bulb, yeah.
So I guess a little history into them maybe would help, like you said, if you
Scott
have
would know
purchase
more. I
or.
was there when they put them up, but Scott, I think you were more involved with it. Because we raised the money for it.
You were on the board, I wasn't.
Okay. Well, I put it this way.
Russ Curran was the director.
Put it this way. We have nothing that had lights, so that was our best field.
Yes.
So we raised a bunch of money
Got
to
lucky.
put those up, and then, which was great, but then
Yeah.
since then, no one's really done anything.
Okay.
Because, we asked one person, well, we're not gonna do this, and we're not gonna do anything, so we're glad to help connect or try to figure it out, but right now,
So maybe, you see, I just wanna understand, you guys will replace the lights, you just need to know what the lights are, is that?
It's gonna be very expensive.
Well, we got an estimate last year to replace all the lights on the ball fields, and it was like tens of thousands of dollars. That
Well, you,
we
like,
just
talking
not
don't
just the
have.
whole,
whole
or you
fixtures.
talk about the whole?
The whole thing, because
Oh, okay.
to replace the bulbs, get somebody in here to replace the bulbs and to fix any ballasts that are broken, and it's going to cost more than putting up fresh LED lights, which will save us money also in the long run.
that was at John Pond too, right?
Right. So yeah, we just did something similar at John Pond Park, but
But
we
you're
just
talking about the whole facility versus just the field though.
yeah, because
I
once
was
you're
gonna say, cause
replacing
we
one
got
over
LED
there,
pricing and it's not even close, like to replace some lights there is gonna just,
Right,
not even close,
so-
it's gonna save you so much money just to replace lights.
to do that, it's silly to have somebody come in just to do that. They would have to do the whole thing.
No, I get it.
And we just don't have that money. And the fields, like I said, aren't being used.
So
as
I
much
need
as
to,
we
I need
put
to
that in.
refute or whatever,
Okay, no,
I don't know
you-
the technical
if you're-
terminology is.
We don't.
But yeah, like, we're at highest numbers we've had in years. And
Okay.
That's coming on and we're using those fields
Every
a
day of the
lot.
week.
I saw
Yeah.
people out
It's
there
literally
tonight.
every day of the week.
Yeah,
right
every
now.
week.
Between practices and games, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
Between
no.
practices and games, it's literally 7 days a week right now.
Yeah, and
Great.
also, so we had the rights to KRR as well, which is another complex in
Yep, and it's on
Freetown.
it.
Yep.
We recently worked with the Freetown board to divvy up some of those fields to other, just, yeah, softball, soccer, we're trying to share with everyone. So we have a little bit less fields there, so we're using these and we're trying to, we may even reach out to Freetown Elementary to try and use that field that's never been used in, I can't tell you how long, just because we need the field. So we're definitely using them, and we're using them at maybe more than we were previously. So we're using them. My concern with the fields is that they're not being maintained the way they were previously. So previously, and I don't remember their names, but there was an older couple that took care of the fields, and we would drag and rake and we would take care of the fields, and then they would do whatever at the end of the day, and they always looked great. I know that God bless them, they've retired or whatever, And since then, I don't know who's done it, but when, like, we had like a day where we had people come to volunteer to try and make the fields better. We did a lot of work, and then whoever's operating the machines now, they've ripped up the home plates, because I don't know if they're just not familiar with how to operate the machinery, and they cut bases. So then we went and we replaced bases. So we replaced all the bases on the complex last year. So we're all willing to put our time and effort in there, where what we see is the opposite. We see less from, we're paying Lakeville, we don't pay Freetown, we're paying Lakeville, and we see less from Lakeville than we see from other places. So that's our concern. And what we want is just to work with you guys to make the facility look fantastic.
Scott, you wanna give the history of the fields and who took care of them and what happens?
The way it's been since my kids played was you guys would come in, do your field day, field 3 was the Turf-X. You guys changed it over from field mix to that Turf-X.
Yeah, I think right before I started, they redid that whole infield, I think.
Yeah.
Right before, when I say start, my son started.
But, as far as the day-to-day, mowing of the fields and dragging of the fields, that was done by our staff here. If things like that are happening, we need to know about them. Unfortunately, we're hearing about it now from last year.
Yeah, I think we reached out. And
I think it's just more communication, having better communication and more open, I guess, or like
Yeah, well,
point of contact,
I've been the
would be
baseball
best
rep
thing.
for a couple of years, and this is the first I've heard of
Okay.
there being problems.
Even with the lights as well, because I know.
No. If
okay.
you heard me, I said the lights have been an issue for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
They've
just
been an issue for you.
going back,
Yes, sir.
when I was with Scott way back when, is that, the parks did what Scott said, they would mow and drag, okay?
Yep.
Now, as far as everything else, the leagues would have that day as you talk. We would get dirt, we get clay, we'd build up the mound, we would do the bases. We would cut the warning track out there, okay? And we would put stone dust or something out there so that the weeds wouldn't come, because if you go out there now,
It's just grass.
it's a horse field, okay? So we as a league, and there were a lot of us volunteers, would do that, would make sure the fields were in pristine. We would fertilize it the way we want, we would do the lines, we would take care of the fields, we would take care of the dugouts, we would take care of the snack bar, we took care of the batting cage. That's all monies that we did way back when. We would take down the batting cages in the winter time. We would take care of the signs, we would get the fences done. The parks never was any part of that, just so you know.
Sure.
We took care of our own facility there. I mean, it was great. I mean, we had the snack bar open, so that would help, would pay for umpires. So there was ways of making money, on there. But as far as the fields go, if you guys need mix and stuff, I think,
Right, we're working on that. It's too bad.
Yeah, we
didn't
can
know
work on that.
When your field day was before, and we
And
kind
we
of
can
fell behind here. Like you said, communication was an issue.
I mean, we're
But,
more than happy to sit and take a tour of it, turn on the lights, see what's going on, and come with a game plan. But the point is as far as the mounds, the bases, if there's ruts in there with the clay or whatever, that's generally the responsibility of the leagues that are playing.
We agree. We have no problem taking care of that. I think previously we would just go and grab dirt, and now there is no more dirt. There used to be like the piles.
Well, there is,
there.
but it's been moved.
Oh, it's been moved. Okay.
Yeah.
But we
it's-
got more coming,
Yes, we do.
and it will be put back where it was, or just is it going to be?
Well,
I mean, I don't care. I just want to know where it
The
is.
dirt that's coming is going for the fields for the people to spread out, right? It's not going in a pile.
Correct.
Well,
Out
but the
somewhere?
problem with that is we can't just dump it out on the field. I mean, they could have a game scheduled for the next night, and they don't have guys coming to rake it and what have you. I mean, I talked to the softball guys. I said, so what if the truck comes on Friday afternoon and you don't get guys down there on Saturday? There goes your games on Sunday if we dump it on home plate. I said, there's got to be some organization, some communication as to when you're going to be there to do that, and when you're going to have people there to do that. Then we bring it in.
Yeah.
So, in briefly talking with Ryan, it wouldn't work with the little Kubota, but he said it's possible to talk to Frank and have one of the big machines come down and dump it, on second base, on home plate, if that's where you're gonna use it, when you're gonna need it.
Okay, so
You know-
when I talked with Pete, we talked about putting it not on the fields, between the fields, between 2 and 3, and then us spreading it, because we were concerned with having a machine come in and rutting up the grass coming through.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah.
That's why we try to limit the amount of vehicles on the fields.
Yeah, so that's what but you were saying you can have a big machine come down and
Well,
put it on
the
second.
town machine, it would be the town machine. Because they know where the other problem runs when people bring their own vehicles in, they don't always know where the irrigation is. And we've had problems there, driving, I'm just saying, driving across the soccer fields to get to the baseball fields. They ran across the irrigation. And I'm just,
No, I
this
can
is
understand
going
people
back.
just driving.
And so
they shouldn't be
we're trying to
driving
curtail
vehicles.
as many vehicles on the field as possible. That's the thing. Well, I mean, we gotta come up with some consensus and what's gonna work for you guys and what's gonna work for us. I mean, because, we're fortunate enough that we're gonna get the town trucks to go down and pick up the stuff, which is gonna save us hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which allows us to buy more. Tomorrow?
They said today or tomorrow they would be delivering it.
So,
Well, the good news is, during this meeting, we're gonna assign you a rep.
Okay.
You'll have their number, that's the person, any issues are down there, you will contact that rep. And also Peter, okay, if you can't get a hold of your rep, Peter's the person or point person. So that there's really no, and then the rep will meet and say, hey, we have an issue here, we have an issue here, we have an issue here, so there's no miscommunications.
And so I don't wanna say like we have issues like this, the fields are.
No.
We don't wanna try to say like, we're not coming off like that at all. We're just trying to reach out, have a new line of communication and like try to make it so it's good for all of us.
So, question, last year and the year before, did this change? Because you guys were never there last year or the year. I mean, I didn't see a lot of, I didn't see a lot of practices, that's what I'm saying.
No, because
We-
when we had kids that were
we
young at the
literally
same time,
used- we
and
had
those
s-
fields were packed 7 days a week, every night, every afternoon, packed.
T-ball,
And the
single leg,
last
double leg.
year
I mean,
and the
you
year
can look
before,
at
there
our
wasn't.
I can show you our
No,
practices. So
we're not saying we don't believe you. We're
Yeah.
just saying like, that's great that you're using
Yeah.
them this year, it just hasn't been that way. So because the fields haven't been used, they haven't been maintained. So when Ryan goes out and cuts the grass.
I'm not
they-
agreeing with that statement because they have been used. The numbers are just continuing to
Okay.
grow and they have been. They're only bigger than when you guys were, the numbers that we have are only bigger and we struggle to find fields. We used Assawampsit's
Oh, you did,
complex a
okay.
we
couple
used to use
times.
Assawamsett.
Yes,
We
but
used to use
that's because we
Assawampsett.
ran out of fields here and,
As well as Central Park and
Yeah.
KRR, so like.
So I guess the
Yeah.
bottom
And we
line,
lost one field at Long
So
Pond,
the-
so we don't have that one either. So that's why we.
Alright, so you're saying,
But it's practice during the week is not till 5:30, the kids won't be there till 5:30.
No,
right,
till
because they,
seven, right.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the weekends would be when you have the other kids for the rookie game, T-ball
Right.
games.
Yeah, and then Sunday we're not there. I mean, there may be
It's
occasional
Saturday-
practice.
it could be a random practice if a coach wants to add in something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
but
and I
it's
think we
mostly-
put that on the thing too. This Sunday we're not.
so, I mean, I think we should eliminate the blame pie and just go forward and see how we can work together so you guys have a wonderful fields to
We're
work
just trying to make
for
it good
and
for the
whatever.
kids so that they're like,
Safe.
3 of the fields,
Yes.
the home plates are not even in there. We kind of reposition it and do it. So like, that's not an issue. Like, I know Jake said we replaced the bases, but then we have an issue with when they're getting dragged, they're getting ripped back out. So like, I don't know if that's like,
They were
if you go,
cut.
I don't think we
replaced them with some
dragged the
concrete
fields.
ones. So.
Yeah, we do.
We do? Because
thought the
Ryan said he
teams
cuts
do
the
it.
grass and he edges. I don't think,
They haven't dragged the field in the last 2 years.
I don't
I'm
think
just
we
letting you
dragged the
know that they
fields.
have not dragged the field.
So,
It was 2 years ago we replaced the bases, so that would make sense because they were cut. Whoever was dragging them previously cut them. So we replaced them 2 years ago. They haven't been.
But-
But someone's got to be dragging them because home plate keeps getting pulled up and.
it's like a 3-inch waffle plate. I'm sure you guys are familiar.
Yeah.
So like those.
so
were
it's
on-
the infield that's the maintenance problem, or
It just
all
seems
the
that it's
field.
very recessed. It's mostly the.
Yeah, to answer your
infield.
question, the infield could use some dirt. The mound, the base pass, all of it could use
We're
some
hopefully
dirt.
gonna remedy that situation soon.
Yeah, so to go back to the previous thing, do we have a determination? I know you said it's coming tomorrow. Is it going between fields 2 and 3? We're fine with whatever works for you. We're fine with. We just don't want the machines, like you said, on the field to create
Especially when
runs.
it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. With the
It's
rain
been
we've
so
had,
wet.
that's why we were trying to not.
I
have
think it was
on
coming
the fields.
tomorrow
No,
and,
where he wants to put it.
I was
Oh.
told today that, it was either Thursday today or Friday that DPW would be picking up and dropping it off. And I talked with Ryan, and the plan was to put a majority of it between,
Two and
fields
three.
2 and 3,
Okay.
Off of the fields, like in the
off of the
open area
fields,
there.
to put another load next to or accessible to field 6, but not on the field, but accessible to it. And then for field 1, to put some right behind home plate, because
So
that
that's the
doesn't
men's
fit you.
softball, though,
It meant-
not-
That's men's
That's what,
softball.
that's
Well, we
what,
use field.
that's what
no,
men's
we use
softball
field.
asked for.
That's a
They
convertible
were
57.
57, yes.
Because that one is the convertible 57, so it's the
But
only other.
mainly this, I think they were doing it with the men's softball, I know
Okay.
we do use it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
the
do
men's
older
softball
kids.
asked for.
We don't use
for
field
the
one
staff.
as
I
much.
shamed them into coming down and doing something, cause they haven't in years.
Okay, no, it's great.
Perfect.
Well,
But, yeah, so our main concern though would be 2, 3, and 6.
right.
All right,
So those are the major fields.
all right,
Yeah,
so the,
for the minors, and then the T-ball and rookie used,
Field
3,
5,
2, and
stone
6.
dust.
And then, yes, the stone dust, but that's stone dust, that's pretty easy to maintain.
Yeah, that one's.
It's no real issues there.
so the detailed schedule we don't need because you're there all the time. The storage facilities, you're gonna clean that out.
Yep.
And, the storage sheds are your responsibility to maintain.
Sure.
Because one of them, if you look at it, it's all rotted on the bottom. So I don't know, the best course is probably to fix it now before it gets too bad.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
No, we'll look at it. I wasn't aware. So I took over the position this year for
Oh.
field director, and so I'm learning. I guess is what I'm saying.
Nope,
But the,
we all go through that, that's
so
fine.
I wasn't sure with the fields. I was actually talking with Jake that today, so he didn't know the history all the way. So if it's our
Yeah.
responsibility, then we'll get it figured out.
And as
We're a
far-
volunteer league, so we just ask, and a lot of guys will, okay, no problem, we'll go down and fix it.
As
Right,
far as the shed with the lights, well, we have to have a key to that too, because the
Okay.
lights are in there in case there's any issues. But I think there's a door frame issue there. So I will, we'll look at it and see what needs to be done. But,
I know it's tight. I know one of the doors.
no, it
is
is,
tight.
but when you try to open it, there's
The
stop.
palette
bags
of the
and
chalk, that's
lime.
the
and, I
line
mean,
chalk.
as
The
Melissa
line.
says, that has to be totally clear,
Yeah, that's not
totally
an
clear.
issue.
So you can do that at some point, but we will look at the key has to be for both here.
So the way we do it at the facility
the
is we have a
key is-
lockbox with a code, and if
That
if-
exists. There's a
so that-
lockbox on the green shed.
So if that's
Just give us
fine
the
with you
code so
guys, yeah. so
Yeah.
That's how we do it at Central Park now.
The keys and the codes, we have a little
Yeah.
lockbox in our office and we put them in there in case we need them. I mean, we're not going into the,
Yeah, no,
I
there's
think when we
usually nothing
replaced
you can
all the
really
locks
take-
a few years ago, I think we replaced those locks as, maybe not.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't
You
even
can
know
just
the
find out
key
for
there
us.
now. So we'll either that, we'll have to re-key.
yeah, I mean, if it's a
or find
code,
We may have to
just get us a
rekey it.
code. If it's a lock, get us a key.
Cause like that's what we do in
That's
the
all.
shed now. We just put a key with a combination code.
That's
So,
fine.
so the rep will call you, so you guys can start to communicate.
Yeah, so you make sure your information's on there so that we can contact.
And the last, item is the porta potty.
Yes.
We're assuming that the porta potty is yours.
It is ours. It's been there for years. Yeah,
Yeah.
we remove it typically in the end of
And
the
the
summer.
fall.
Right, but it's been there all year.
Yeah, it hasn't.
Yeah,
it
which
didn't leave.
that's on me. Normally I call it off, and unfortunately I had to pay a couple extra months this year.
Right. See, our thing was, that's why the Parks Department poured all the money into building those bathrooms. And I know that you're a little ways away, but
Yeah, so
now
that's
now
my
there's a truck
concern.
driving in each week
Correct.
to empty the porta potties.
Correct.
And they drive in regardless of how the field looks, whether it's wet or dry.
And irrigation is there?
Well, they're not going over the irrigation so much,
No,
but
they're
it's
just going down that one drive.
Just save money and use these.
Well, I'd love to save money, but I also know that T-ballers are 4-year-olds and
So they need to run quick.
they don't quite make it the 300
Okay.
yard dash to
I
the,
understand.
and the siblings also are typically younger. So as much as we'd like to save money, I do think it's in the best interest to keep that there. We pay for it. I'm sure more people than just our league uses it. I will gladly remove it at the end of the summer, so we can save some money.
Yeah, right.
Unless someone else wants to keep
Has there
it.
been an issue with the trucks though? Like, has it been running up? Cause I haven't seen anything there for like, you're worried about the truck though, is what you're saying now.
well, I mean, they just, they don't look at what the weather is, they just drive in. You know what I mean?
No,
They come in
no,
once
it
a
makes
week,
sense.
they
It
come in once a
definitely
week
makes
and, because they're scheduled to do it, they do it. That's all. I mean,
I just didn't know if there was like an issue, like they're coming in and tearing it up, cause I know we've had a really wet season, and we were just there last Wednesday, I just really didn't see any damage, and
I
obviously
don't
there was
think they've
damage.
been in, I don't think they've been in yet.
That,
I don't know, have they?
Yeah, they've been
it's
in.
been there,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been
I
there
say,
for
I
about a
haven't
month
seen
now.
them come in.
Well, it's been there all year.
No, it's been there
I mean,
since
for like
last
service
last
starting, no, I
spring.
mean, I'm sorry, I meant like for
No, the
starting
service
That's
kept
what it's been
up.
going.
Yeah, the service just stays. If the unit stays, the service stays.
How did they get into the gate over here?
He goes
Oh,
to
the parking
the,
lot?
Far side.
the far side. He takes a straight shot in.
Okay.
So it's just in and out right
All right.
through that, right
So,
between
Are
fields
we
one
gonna allow
and two.
that,
I
to
got
stay
it.
there?
You good with that?
I think our issue was, there was no permission to put a porta pot there. You have to come to the commission to get permission for a porta pot. That's why we have.
Well,
this.
in our lease, it talks about
And-
porta
and
potties,
that
and we've
is-
had that there for years, so I
I
don't
know, and
who
that's
said
the
it wasn't.
problem. We didn't know who it belonged to, and it was there, and the truck was driving across the grass, and we have a restroom, which should be used. And I think our concern was, number one, we didn't have permission, number two, the truck going across the grass. So I think we need to decide whether this is going to stay or not, and you have a valid point, you have little kids, but,
Nope,
I
get it.
think it was a discussion with this committee. And I think that we need to resolve it so it doesn't.
Yeah,
come
I'd
up
love to
again.
resolve, like I said, I mean, since I've been president now, and it's been like 5 years, we've had a porta potty there. So I
know.
didn't know there was a,
You looked at your
But
watch.
nobody
Yeah.
knew, nobody knew who put it in because nobody got permission. And it's been there and all we're asking is,
Right, so
So we're asking
it
for permission to put a
disappeared,
porta potty.
right, it disappeared at the end of the season. We built the bathrooms, it disappeared. So we were just surprised when it showed up again.
well, those
That's
porta
all.
pot, the bathrooms were, been there for
So,
a while.
but is it fine, Scott, or do you wanna discuss it further?
I'm open.
do you wanna leave it or do you want, I
Maybe you're
know there
good.
was a
It's not my
concern
fault.
about the trucks going across the grass and that's why I brought it up.
No, yeah, no, I understand. We're all for discussion. We're just under the assumption, like, because we're all volunteers, so we don't know from the
Right.
previous guy how it is. They should,
Right.
hey, this is how it's been, this is what we've been doing.
Right.
So we just, okay.
Well, the previous people never got permission
Okay.
and we didn't know who it belonged to.
No,
we
again,
don't
like I
know.
say,
It
communication.
belongs to
so-
us, and we would,
Yes.
we would like to keep it there, because as much as, like I said, we do like to save money, because we are a volunteer league.
Yeah.
I just do think it's in the best interest of the league and the community to have that a little bit closer for everyone.
Would it be too much to move it closer to the road so that the trucks are not going over the grass?
I can,
I don't think that's an issue. If you have a better spot you like it, type, if that's what you're saying, like maybe up closer to the gate or something?
Yes.
I don't think that's an issue for them to move it at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
might
it's not
be
an issue
better.
to move it, I would prefer where it is, because it's in the central
Center of
location from 6, 5,
Right for
3, and
everybody.
2. Because if someone's at 5, I mean, I don't know whether they'd go to that
Yeah,
bathroom or
they-
that bathroom. It's a long way from, no matter what, when you're at 5.
Most likely they run into the woods. at
I
that
would
point if it's not
prefer,
there.
yeah, I would prefer to keep it where it's at, but if you guys would like us to move it, that's, we will.
Okay. Alright, so your liaison, we'll be in touch.
Okay.
And if you wanna discuss it further, we can do so, and for all of that, and then whatever happens, you just contact your liaison, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can work together, get the field straightened out, the lights won't be this year.
So yeah, I
maybe
just
in the
want to go
future we
back to
can-
the lights, and I know you guys are trying to think bigger picture and stuff. I mean, if it's really just bulbs, and we can replace a lot of bulbs, what we can try and do is reach out to Sunbelt to get a lift,
You can do that,
just
but
to
as
check
a-
out what bulb it is.
as a volunteer person, you can't go on the lift here. Like, you have to,
Go through.
volunteering isn't the same as it used to be. There's agreements and stuff like that. Like, we can't go up on our office roof and repair the roof and it's this high. Town is not gonna let you go up on a lift that's higher than Middleborough Gas and Electric can get to check the bulb size. And that's part of the problem. You can hire a company to do that as long as they pay prevailing wage and all that good stuff.
So no lights then.
Okay.
It's,
I
we-
mean,
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. That's,
We
that's
like-
what
Just
trying to help,
That's what
you
we're
know?
trying to figure out, like what
Yeah.
we can and can't do.
We
Because I know
don't-
previously we weren't even really allowed to do the dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we're trying to figure out where we can help, where we're not allowed to, I
Right.
guess. So that's where I was
So, yeah.
here trying to,
Yeah, and
I guess, figure it
We'd
out.
love to help you with that, and hopefully we can work together, and in a year or so, maybe we get the lights done, if we can save some money here, save some money there, and get it done, because it's on the list to do. We just can't do it right now.
So even if we got a licensed contractor to volunteer, that still doesn't, it's still a volunteer.
You can't
This-
volunteer.
this-
Still a
we have to
volunteer.
physically pay someone to do it.
Unless he works for a company that's willing to turn in their insurance certificate
Yeah,
and
if,
cover him
if he's
for going up
insured, then the
into.
town lets you do it, but they don't let us do anything.
No,
Okay.
I get it.
Our
The
insurance
lawyers
doesn't
getting
cover that?
involved.
I don't know.
No, I think your insurance covers the kids. The kids and the coaches.
And the
We pay so
coaches.
much for that insurance, I just assume it covers everything and
Well, talk to your insurance person, tell them what you're thinking of doing, because the
Yeah.
person who would do it have insurance anyway.
Right.
A contractor has to have insurance.
So what we would need is a certificate of liability. So if you call your insurance and they can provide us with a certificate of liability for you to do it, then well, I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
But contact your liaison.
No, yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
work it out with them.
No, I get it, we're
Do
trying
we
to
have a
help.
liaison?
You will by tonight.
We're figuring it
We
out.
will.
Okay.
It's
No,
on
no,
our
no.
agenda.
We
We
have it
wanted
here.
to put
Okay.
it.
Park liaisons.
We wanted to put you guys first, so you didn't have to
We
go who's
appreciate that.
battling to do what leagues.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for us? Parting words to leave us with?
Nope, I guess we'll wait for the
I
liaison.
have a question. The batting cages, is that,
Yours.
Yours.
oh, it's ours.
Well,
Well, no,
Well, no, it's not theirs, but the point is,
we
we
don't
always.
maintain that. That's not our responsibility.
Right. We paid for it to put it in, the batting cage.
right.
We put it up.
For the record, the we you're referring to is the
Was
Little
Lakeville
League,
Park
Little
Commission.
League.
Was the LPA or the baseball took
Yeah.
care of it. They,
Yeah.
we would put it up and we would take it down. So the parks has nothing to do with that.
Let me check with, Samurai, because they were supposed to do some more improvements.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
whatever.
But, and I know that was, I thought that was one of the things that they were gonna do, was to
Yeah.
And we will,
redo the inside of the batting cage.
And there's mounds outside, which
Yeah.
we used
Yeah.
it to build up, and there was a
Right.
mound in between, over by field
Between 2 and 3.
two and three, we had
there's two
mounds
of them.
there,
There's two of
yeah,
They're overgrown.
for warming.
Yeah.
sunk, yeah.
And
if-
I'm sure
if there's
you know-
if there's dirt that needs to be added at the field that the Samurai primarily uses, we can help out with that as well.
I know, like, if you're batting cages, you know how expensive those nets are. So I'm sure if you wanted to work with the
Yeah.
Samurai, whoever, and
Yeah.
pitch in for the, I'm sure. I don't think you're restricted. You can't
I
use
was
them
just-
if Samurai.
I figured while we were here, I would just
There.
ask whether we are allowed to touch it or not allowed to touch it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what are we allowed to do versus
So-
not, or
so we
what are we
are-
responsible for versus
Yep.
not
No,
responsible for?
You're allowed to, that's part of the maintenance.
Okay, so the sheds are ours, the nets we can do, the lights we can't touch it.
We have to figure out the certificate
And
of
then-
liability, if
Okay,
we're
and then
allowed to
the,
bring
Yeah.
anything in to
and
see
the
what the
dirt,
size
you
are.
guys are working.
Yeah, so the dirt should be in tomorrow, so it'll have to be spread
Yes.
fairly quickly. Fingers crossed that it comes tomorrow, because our DPW is picking it up to save.
The truck,
Save
the
us hundreds.
delivery.
Hundreds.
It's the weather.
I agree.
Tomorrow's
gonna
supposed to be
rain tomorrow?
nice. No, tomorrow's supposed to be nice.
When is your official, when do the official games start? Have
I've already
they?
started.
They've already started.
So they
April
started,
6th
yeah,
was opening day.
April 6th was
April
opening
6th.
day at Central Park.
okay, and now everything starts to move over.
Well,
We've already had some games.
yeah,
on
we have
field three,
games and practices here.
And
We try and keep
rookie
everyone off the
ball.
field till like April 1st timeframe. It just to get the fields as much back to life as possible.
So
work
you're
that.
telling me that the lights can't be used to play, there's not.
No,
enough
no, no,
lights.
they-
At Central Park?
No,
No,
here.
here.
Oh, here, go ahead. I don't- I
They
can't
work,
speak to
but
that.
it's half. I have pictures of them, like,
No, I'm asking, can you play with the lights right now?
yeah, we use them as is, cause we'll take what we got type of
Okay,
thing is what
okay.
it is. So when it was getting dark, we had a game there last Wednesday, and the last half hour, we turned them on just so the boys had better light.
So they could finish.
Yes.
So there's no, you're not losing any games by what the situation
No,
is
it's just
right
that
You
some
don't
of them
have any
like,
nighttime
yeah.
games,
They,
nighttime games.
no, not
scheduled,
terribly.
yeah.
No.
We
I
only
know
do-
fall
I'd
was a
have
big
to-
nighttime. only
Yeah,
because
we
of short
typically
hours.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, we've moved all the game times up
To a 5:30 start.
to a 5:30 start, and then we typically only do double headers for the older kids, and the older kids are on the bigger, slightly bigger fields now, and so those take place at Central Park.
So you only put it on at dusk around there where it's.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And most
Get
of
that
our
extra
night
half
games are
hour.
scheduled for
Yeah.
Central
Okay.
Park.
Yeah, we don't. The lights are used.
Well, that's good news, at least we know that you're not.
Yeah, so we're not losing games.
No,
because
it's
of it,
not.
no.
Yeah, and probably that's why I had like last year again. It was the same thing last year, so it's probably why we haven't been as we know it's been an ongoing issue with the lights. So.
We try not to schedule 8-night game there. We'll push it to Central Park and so the boys get like a Friday night 7:30 game type of thing. So it does
Fun for
play under the
everybody.
lights. It's fun under the lights for the kids.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
they love
So,
it.
Yeah, we used to do 8 o'clock games.
Yeah, we used to do Friday
All right.
night games.
so I think that'll work and we'll
Oh,
hear
when you have
from
lights, you
the
can do it.
Yep.
I think that was it, unless you have anything
Well,
else.
pleasure meeting you
All
guys.
good.
Thank
You
you
as
all
well.
very
Hopefully
much. It's
promise
great.
somebody will be
Thank you.
calling you tomorrow.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, we appreciate this. This is great. We like
Well,
the people.
come back anytime.
Yes. First and third Thursdays.
Yeah, right here.
Thank you all.
Same time,
guys.
same
Have a great
place.
night.
Well, might change. We'll have to let you know. Okay, co-ed blooper ball. Let's keep the fun going.
How you doing?
Okay, do we have their application? Okay, so our main concern with co-ed blooper ball is that this is my second year here, and every year there's issues. Like the first year I had just come on after the season started, and it was the alcohol. So then the alcohol had to be put into the contract because it was a problem. And then there were fights the second year. And now this year we get the report that there's emotional abuse and threats being made, so much so that the person ended up having to go to the police station to file a police report. So we would like to know what you're doing to mitigate that going forward, and what your procedure is, and if your players have to sign a code of conduct. And I know, Chelsea, you did reach out and email us, and thank you for that. But you had mentioned that there was only one incident, and that is not consistent with what we've heard.
Okay, that's,
And it's not
I-
he
no,
said,
so-
she said, it's just
no, I
going
agree.
forward,
So
what
I
is it
run the
going to
league,
be?
And that was the only incident that was brought to my attention. If there's others, I can't do anything about it.
Right.
I can only do with what is brought to my attention. That, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm sorry it had to happen, because it was actually family. So, one team was my sister-in-law's team, and the other team was my son's team. And it had to do with a text found on a phone, and it got out of hand. I can't control what adults do.
Right.
All I can do is I said to the people that it happened with, I said, if it's ever happens again, you are kicked out of the league. I then sent an email to all the coaches in the league, and I said, if this happens ever to anybody, we have zero tolerance for hazing, bullying, physical altercations, anything. I can only control what I hear, and that's exactly what I was told to them. My son coaches the other team. I talked to him. He told me that he thought everything was okay. Apparently not, because here I am, but
Right.
I can only do what I was told.
Right.
I have no ideas what you're
I don't
talking
either.
about
I'm
with physical
confused about that.
altercations.
And the going to the police station, is that same account? Cause
That's
that's,
kind of private information.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
need
we're
to-
not
yeah, yeah,
gonna
well,
discuss that, but
we-
yeah, because
we don't
it
know
was.
about it, so.
No,
Yeah.
meaning like that, she's talking about the people going to the police station. Was that with the hazing, or was that with a physical altercation? Because to my knowledge, there has never been physical altercation. There was a gentleman at one time who was very aggressive, but has now moved to Florida. So we don't deal with him anymore, but we did have teams that were willing not to play because of him. So that was 2 years ago. So, but there was no physical altercations. There was, a gathering in the middle of the field, but I happened to be there that night and immediately jumped in the middle and said, this isn't gonna happen. I mean, you are gonna have a little different with adults. You would think that it would be
It's
easier
not,
than with
yeah.
children, but it's not, because tempers do get, but for the most part, I think everyone enjoys playing, and like I said, that, I apologize, it actually was a family member, and it was over a text that was found on somebody's phone. As far as I know, I have no idea
Right.
I just know that it happened. I talked to the person that it was happening to. Then I talked to the person that was supposedly doing it. and then I talked to my son, who was the coach of the team, and I thought everything was hashed out. At one point, the person that was getting hazed or bullied was gonna quit the league, and I told her, no, let me deal with this, and she stayed, so I thought everything was okay, but here I am today. I mean,
Right.
but I don't know, I mean, I don't, other than that incident, I don't know of any other incidents that have ever happened. We've never had a physical altercation other than one person sliding into somebody by mistake. Not by mistake, this was the guy that moved to Florida. And that's when the stuff started. But,
Yeah. So I think that that last season, I think that altercation and the hazing went a little bit further than you're aware of.
Yeah.
And the
It
police
could've.
report was filed. And they did mention that they went to their coach, the coach went to you, they went to you. And she did say that she ended up leaving at the end of the season. She did not finish out the season. So it just made me sad that the person who was on the receiving end had to be the one to quit instead of the person doing it.
Right, and like I said,
That's just not what we
no,
want.
I
Our
know,
parks
but
to be
I
a
don't.
safe place for everybody
I know,
to
but
be.
I don't.
And it's.
I don't think the person quit. I think their season ended because they didn't go any further. But
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
quit.
no, because she was still there throughout the season. And like I said, my son was the coach of the other team,
Yes.
and I had talked to him, and I'm like, "Is this okay with you?" And I assumed he talked to her, and everything was okay. I can only go by what people tell me. Believe me, I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to run this league. But if I don't, then we won't be able to play.
Right.
It's just like I don't know.
Somebody has to be in control
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
we've all
Yeah.
been
It's
there.
painful.
Right.
And I coach the youth, and I now help with this, and I'm like, it's just
Right.
like
Like
apples and oranges.
For her, honestly, she had issues last year, so she wasn't even a part of it. She doesn't even really know. She's only up to what I brought her up to speed on.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought that everything was okay now, but apparently it wasn't. So,
So when your people sign up, they sign saying that the code of conduct, no hazing, no bullying, no
Isn't that built
violence,
into the
no.
rules? That's built into the rules, is it not?
I
for
I'm
our
asking you,
rules,
sorry.
it is. It's
yeah.
built
So and as long as that's enforced.
I mean, yeah, we don't make them sign anything. It's just in the rules that we hand out to
Yeah.
the coaches every year. I mean, if you want us to make up some code of conduct,
That's the thing, is like, what's the expectation? Because these are adults, we can't control them all.
They are
I mean,
adults.
things happen, and we usually handle
I
them
mean,
as
from
adults
what
and
I
get through it, but.
understand, like this it wasn't like a hazing because of this. It was outside of this, and it just was easy to happen there because they were both there. It really had nothing to do with blooper ball, honestly.
Right.
It just, because they were both there, it could happen. So,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of an unfortunate circumstance for us, but I get it. Nobody, all I want is people to come down there, play, have a good
And
time.
have a good time.
I mean, I'm not looking, it's,
Well, I think the liaison's gonna help with that too.
okay,
Whoever's assigned to you. if
Okay.
Anything is heard, it's, you talk to liaison right away,
okay,
or if someone, we'd rather not have other people talk to the park liaison except for the coaches or
Yep.
whoever's in charge of the league.
okay.
So, I think.
Yeah, look.
Nobody
believe me,
wants to babysit.
I don't
anyone.
want any responsibility of dealing with that stuff. If you're gonna give me someone to help
No.
guide me with that,
Yeah.
that's fine, yeah.
Well,
They won't deal with any of the people.
Right, but at least.
But if there's
But they'll
incident,
step in and help
report it.
and
Yeah.
Give me guidance.
They'll
yeah,
step in
I
and
mean,
help.
whatever we have to
Because
do
I can
together.
only handle it the way I thought that it, believe me, the girl that it happened to is a nice kid. I would not want it to happen to her. And my sister-in-law is a nice person, but has a mean streak. And I've told her many a times that she's caused so much problems because of this. And at the time, I said, if this happens again, you're out. And from what I hear, it didn't happen after that. you know, but I can only, if someone tells me something, like, I didn't know there was anything about a police report and stuff like that. If nobody tells me, I think everything's good, I'm okay. I talked to my son, you know, and I thought, okay, we moved on, you know, so I apologize for that. But, you know, like I said, unless somebody tells me, I don't.
When they tell you, what are you going to do about it?
Well, from this point on, it's already been
Yeah.
told, they're gone.
They're gone.
Now, I can't
Permanently.
control what happens
No,
outside
no.
of that.
I just want to
Right.
You
know
know, I
that,
mean, they could be
Yeah.
still hazing and bullying later on. I don't know,
Right.
maybe they call
but
them
as
on the
long as
phone.
they're on the park
Right.
fields, how are you going to control
Right.
it?
It'd be permanent expulsion from the league,
Yes.
if there's anything like that, no second chance, it's just, if it happens.
As soon as it happened, an email went out to all the coaches to let them know that it's not tolerated. So,
That's
I mean,
excellent.
honestly, I didn't think that it had to be said. Seriously, I'm with adults, you know,
But
Uh,
that's just it.
yeah.
It's always, it's always
Unfortunately.
relatives.
Unfortunately.
well, I didn't even want to bring it up that it was.
It is at my house.
That's
Yeah.
right. We already knew, so it's okay.
I know you know. I kind of figure out how you know, but like I just, you know, it's, and like I'll be honest with you, my son does not talk to his aunt anymore because of this.
That's too bad.
So that is sad.
That's too
It
bad.
is. It's awful. Like
Sad.
he won't attend any parties that she's there. And, like he's 100% got whoever's back that he
Right.
was supposed to have.
Well, hopefully they can work that out. But that's really all we were looking for,
Yeah.
and we're glad that you took those steps, and that really reassures us.
Yeah,
So do you, just to be clear, do you want us to make up some code of conduct thing where they have to sign it?
If
Like-
you think it's handled, then that.
Well, I
for
did,
me,
but
right-
now I find out
well,
it's
I
not.
think,
so-
I think when we send out our initial beginning of the season emails, you know, we really hammer home that, and then when the games start, we just make a verbal, we make it
Yeah,
known.
your adults
More
act
than
like
we
it.
have,
Yeah,
yeah.
But if
just reinforcing
if
what you.
it happens
you're saying.
again, maybe next year you go further, and then they have to sign the code of conduct.
Yeah.
Do you guys run with umpires?
Do we what?
Not till the
No.
end of the
What?
season.
Yeah,
when
not
it's
till the
the
playoffs.
champion. Yeah,
Yeah.
playoffs.
Like that's,
Not
Does
that they
that
would
cause
be-
problems at times?
well, the umpires cause more problems, believe it or not,
We
than
believe it.
in the league. Because in the league, our rule is the home team, if there's an argument, gets the first call and the other team gets the next call no matter what. So they just know it's, you know, now you get an umpire in there and, you know, he makes 5 calls and they're all for one team. Now somebody else is like, what's
Right.
going on?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we've been there too.
yeah, so we try to keep it just to the playoffs, but even the playoffs haven't been working that great, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, at least in the playoffs, you need somebody to say, "Oh, it's safe," and that's it. you
Yeah, I
know.
know, because we used to run with umpires
You did?
all year long, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. It's just so expensive. Like, to-
No, I
to do
know,
it.
I know it's an incurred cost,
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
not
that's
denying it.
my thing. Like, I'm just trying to keep the costs down for the league. Like, to do the umpires for the playoffs, they want $35 to $40 a game, depending upon, you know, like.
Yeah, I know, that's a higher cost than, I mean, I used to get $15 a game.
Right.
15,
Wow.
15.
You know?
And less for the younger kids for the smaller leagues.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I mean, like, I
7 or 8 bucks a
played
game.
Oh my gosh,
men's.
really?
I played men's softball for years, and like we have U-Trip umpires, and
Yeah, they're
they
expensive.
pay. Yeah, but they pay their U-Trip umpires more than their U-Trip tells them to, and it's ridiculous. Like they pay the guy over there like $45
I
a
was
game.
gonna say like
It's
40,
crazy.
$50 a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
so
know, when you
why are
get
you
patched.
offering?
No, 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 I've already turned that gig down. I did one game for the women, and, because I
Yeah.
used to,
Well, women know worse than co-ed. At least
Well,
co-ed.
there were 2 of us that did all the women's games, and then, but anyhow, so I filled in, and she says, "Don't you want to come back and do this?" I went, "Absolutely not, absolutely not." No,
I've watched a couple of the
I love the
women's
women's
games. They're
to go to
very-
co-ed
yeah,
'cause I
they're
can't do
very
the girls.
aggressive over
Yeah.
there, so.
Yeah.
yeah,
Caddy.
yeah, yeah. No, we used to
Alright.
umpire the men and the women, and play. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we're looking for players too. So.
yeah. I think those days are done.
That's what we
Thanks
all-
very
Oh,
much.
Paula's gonna do
I
it.
have a solution.
Okay.
Come to
Ooh.
Lakeville Day and demonstrate your blooper ball.
See, the only problem with that
That's a
for
great-
us
that's a great
is
idea.
we play in July.
Promote,
So
that's all right, get a few people.
Yeah, to
out
get
of-
them is tough.
It's
It's like,
it's
first of all, we're old. So you play that one
No,
game,
you're
next
not.
thing you know, you pulled
You're
a
not.
hand. I'm 52 years old. That's all.
You're a
She
kid.
is not.
I am
She's
not.
32. But
But really, if you just get 4 or 5 of us, 4 or 5 of you people to come
so
and
you
do
just
Blue Ball.
voted to play? You just nominated yourself?
No, we're just trying
I'm
to
just
show
saying,
what the
to
park
get
system
people out there
offers
without
to the public.
practicing and stuff,
Right.
running around,
And
there's
it-
hammies pulled.
and it
and stuff
Oh, yeah,
like that.
Hammies, oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And it
I don't
promotes,
wanna,
it promotes the
To me,
teams.
I gotta go to work every day, you know.
Yeah, but
I'm
this
in
is a
construction.
Sunday.
Huh?
So
I know,
what-
but I'm in construction. I pull a hammy and I can't climb up a ladder all day long. I can't pay my mortgage. That's my
Are
thing.
you playing now?
Yes.
I was like, that's such a bad
Oh, you
excuse.
could, you
But
could
I
pull a hand.
practice for it, so I stretch out.
Yeah,
I mean,
Come on.
thank you for
Look,
that. I was gonna say the same.
What? What?
Nothing.
What'd you- I missed-
So what, I think what Paul
I
is
mean, I
trying
go
to
to
say.
the gym, so I'm
Okay.
okay,
Right.
but other
So-
people might not.
We have Lakeville Day on May 5th coming up. So if
Oh, God,
you
May
bring a
5th.
table, say blooper ball, have you know how in the carnivals they have the baskets that you got to throw the softball into?
Yeah.
So if you bring a basket and throw the softball into it, a game for the kids, you recruit people
Wow, I
to
don't want
play
any
on
more
your.
people.
Well,
I
that's
don't,
too many
I
people.
don't have the field space. And like they were just saying, we asked for the field
Yeah.
right over here before the Lily Field, and they told us no. Last year, he told us, who said that? So we had the opportunity to use it last year, but it came down. We only played 6 to 9 o'clock
Right, at
10
night.
o'clock at night. There was only 13 lights on. Like, you know, we can't play like that. You know, someone's going to get hit in the face.
Right.
And it's, you know, what do I do? Tell my insurance?
So you're not
Yeah.
recruiting, is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I
Kinda
just
no.
deleted my note. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
a
we
good
would,
thing.
we wouldn't be
Believe me,
able
we
to.
would like to, but
Yeah.
like last year we had 8 teams and it makes it tough. We only play Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays,
Right,
so,
days.
you know, you
Right,
can
yeah.
only play so many
We only
games.
had 6 teams because we played Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right,
That was it.
yeah, and like, we used to play 2 times a week, now we play 1 time some weeks, and you know, just because we try to get the
Yeah.
games in, but, yeah, I would love to say I used to play Carver men's softball. There was 24 teams in the league. You had 2 sides, and at the end of the year, they both played each other for the championship. I would love to do that, but I don't have the fields
Right.
to do it. So, you know, I hate to say I don't want to promote, but I
Right.
can't.
Yeah,
I just.
right.
But you can show up anyways, even if you're not promoting.
If
You're
I'm gonna
invited.
tell you what, I'll try to get it, and if anybody pulls a hammy, I'm coming to your house, and you're gonna wrap it, and you're gonna tend to it.
Oh,
He has all the rap.
He's hitting
Think
on
that
you.
one through.
Yeah. You
All
got
right,
So,
I can't climb up the
Even-
ladder.
You know what? I mean, even if you didn't play, even if you came with a bat and a ball and you had your set of rules and you explained to people how you play the game. Because when you talk about blue ball, you get
Yeah,
new people
those-
will into town. They have no clue.
I
I
had
will
no
agree.
clue.
I
The only
explained
people
and
who know
explained.
I never
ball
knew what
is
it was either.
I didn't know. I hate
Yep.
the name.
And
Sounds
it's kind of the
silly.
same thing with pickleball. Like pickleball has always been in Lakeville, but it just became popular all over the place. Booper ball's popular in
We used to
Lakeville,
have-
and that's it.
A Lakeville League and a Freetown League.
For booper ball?
And we would
Oh,
have
yeah?
a championship.
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
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 Because
Does
of the
Freetown
fact
still have
they only had one field with lights and we only had one field
Right.
with lights. So again, you're limited to how many
Right.
teams you can play.
Right.
You know, when you're playing 2 days a week and you know 4 sets of games,
Right.
it's difficult. But they used to. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
see,
you're
that
ever
sounds
if
like
you're
a
ever
good
down in
idea.
Clear Pond, there's some pictures in there, and you see the guys.
So are you guys like it's Freetown Lakeville here? Is that the same there? Like
Yeah. So
are we allowed to use their fields
No.
in Freetown?
No, see,
So they can use ours, but we're not allowed to use theirs?
well,
Well,
because they combine their leagues.
Right.
Their numbers were dwindling.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're from what they're saying, they're coming back a little
Okay.
bit. When we were coaching and running the league, we had twice as many as what they have.
Okay.
We had 6 major league teams. We had 16 minor league teams and 8 T-ball teams.
There was no lacrosse back then, so we.
Right, there was no lacrosse. All we had was soccer was up and coming.
Right.
You know, so I mean, we had the corner market. Everybody played baseball.
Right.
But we had, 275 kids. You know, that dwindled down to like 100. So Freetown and Lakeville combined so that they could be competitive.
Okay.
Because their numbers were just, so they play there and here, because it's Freetown and Lakeville kids.
All right.
You can
That's-
reach out to them and ask to use their field. That doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we thought about it, but like I said, it's,
I mean, if we could get the lights fixed, even one night would help you,
right.
Right. Because they're not gonna be playing every night of the
Right,
week.
because there was one night, I think the girls softball has a tournament, and it's
Yeah.
only one night. Other than that, they cater to us. We get the fields whenever we want, so I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
But I forgot all about it last year. And teams showed up, and they're like, "Oh, what can we do?" And I think I talked to Peter, and he said, "Yeah, go ahead and use that field." We went down there, but
Yeah.
there was only 13
Sparse.
lights, so
Yeah, no, it is.
you
It's like
know,
13
it was
of the
pretty
25,
tough.
I know.
Yeah, so
Well, to play there, you would have to invite Freetown people.
for what?
I mean, if you wanted to play in Freetown people would have to be in your league. They're not gonna let you play there.
Right. No,
No, that's not necessarily true.
no,
He's just-
we don't. But like, we don't just have Lakeville people.
Oh, you
Like,
don't.
no, I'm from New Bedford.
From Carver.
She's from Carver.
Oh,
On my team, I have 5 people from Fall River.
Millboro.
Yeah,
all over.
yeah, we're all over. It's not just here, so we don't care. Anybody who wants to play can play.
See, Paula, you can be the Lakeville rep. Go ahead. Join them. You can be the
no,
token Lakeville
It used to be
person.
predominantly Lakeville.
Right, and that's what.
And there were a few, you were allowed to bring in like 2 or 3 people
That's
from out of
exactly
town.
right, and that's how the men's softball league used to be. It was all Lakeville, and you could only have
Now
like
it's
3
changed.
people. Now it's everywhere because
The numbers dwindle.
yes, because a lot of
so
young kids
that
don't
being
like to
said,
go
will we
outside and
see
play
you at
ball
Lakeville Day?
anymore.
Oh, you
May
stop,
5th,
Paula.
Lakeville Day.
Sunday, 11 to 3.
This
Just-
Sunday?
He's pushing.
No.
it.
No,
No,
it's
no.
May.
Say, that's pretty.
I was like, that's a.
Yeah, that's
I think Peter sent everybody,
Yeah.
all the
You don't
teams
have
a
to play
notice.
a blooper ball game, but if
Well,
you
let
just
me ask you
wanted to
this: Do
come,
you have a
and-
field that we could play if I can get people?
Oh, there's plenty of field
Field
out
6
there.
is right there. You could be
Is
hitting
that the
balls.
one all the way in the back over here?
No, that's the one in the front. That's the one nearest
Oh, so
the.
it's here?
It's the one. In
Yeah.
One where they
It's the
take-
one
Right
right
over here
across
at
from,
Williams
it's the
Camp.
one across from Loon Pond, right across.
It's the one right across from the lodge. It's next to the maintenance building. It's
Right
a little
there.
league field. I would call it a minor league field. It's a little
Yeah,
small.
we'll have people hitting the ball
Oh, I know what you're gonna
into
do.
the pond.
Yeah, so.
We got some big
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
Like we
So,
have guys
yeah.
at John Pond hitting
It's
it
annoying.
across the street.
Right,
into
it's
the
also
woods.
Cinco de Mayo Day, so
Yeah.
the Loon Pond Lodge will have a great menu.
She's, wow, she's
She
good.
totally is.
Push
She's
that.
good.
Well, you could just come and bring an activity for kids to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You know-
would be.
Now I gotta create an activity.
You have to make flyers.
I've
Jesus.
created an activity.
Listen, he's not showing
But
us,
you know
let's
what?
go
No.
for it.
But
I
most
got
of,
bats and
all right.
balls in my shed.
All right. So by the end of tonight, you'll have a liaison. You can work with them. Any questions, any problems, anything you need, you contact them and they'll work with you. It was nice to have you both here.
Thank
Thank
you.
It was
guys.
Yeah,
nice
thank
to
you.
see
We really appreciate you
especially
coming.
knowing you
Yeah.
came from New Bedford and Carver, like not too right across the street. Is
Well,
there
I
anything
used
else
to-
you have
I
for
used to live
us?
in Rochester, so it wasn't that bad.
No, you drove from New Bedford.
Today I
take the
did,
things.
yes.
Thank
No,
you. Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, like.
Yeah, thanks for
It's
your
not-
support
No, we
of
appreciate
our,
it.
of our.
No,
kid.
we appreciate you letting us use the fields. I mean, to
Yeah.
find fields is unbelievable these days. Like you say the numbers are down, but you can't get a field anywhere, especially with lights. Lights are a big difference. Like, and we
Yeah.
need lights.
So we don't charge enough.
yeah, a lot of
Charge
We're
people,
gonna
enough.
raise the prices.
You
Yeah,
don't
you-
I was
know,
gonna
yeah.
say you
Supply
should
and
so keep that to
demand.
yourself.
Supply and demand.
My bill was like 1,500, and then the women's league was like $200. That's crazy. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's what it costs for fertilization alone. They told me, and that's all the women paid last 2 years ago. That's crazy.
And they've been assessed for last year's lights. Already.
They were
Because they played some games under the lights, not as many as you guys played.
Right.
Right.
But they played some, so they
right.
get
And it
an
was
assessment.
just
Oh,
200. I was like,
He-
oh man, that is ridiculous. Like I got to pay
Yep,
10 times the amount.
yep,
that they
and,
pay.
and this year going forward, if they continue to use the lights, then your cost is gonna go down.
Right.
Because it's gonna be a total cost. We're not making money on them.
No, I know that.
You know, it's just
that's
a
what I'm saying.
reimbursement.
I wish that everyone was in the same park. Then things like replacing the lights and stuff would
Could
be
be
easier. 'Cause
spread
I
out
know
by-
you told me that
Yeah.
fertilization alone was ridiculous for those fields.
We spent-
$20,000 for,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Everything.
And I'm like, I get it. And if everybody pays roughly the same, you know, then it's not as bad, that's all.
And that's what we're trying to make it
Right.
as equitable, you know, so, I mean, if they're using the lights, that your cost is gonna go down.
Right, okay.
Well, it depends. If they use them less because the women are using them,
But
but if
how do
they
they
use them
know?
the same,
No, but if
We know.
the cost is the
How do you
same,
know?
We schedule
and the
you.
women are playing more games under the lights, then their cost has to go down.
We know,
But
they're
we
playing
do,
less
we
than
know-
the
but
we
we
know
do a
who's-
lot of
No.
interleague switching that
No.
you don't know
If the
about.
cost is $800
we know when you're
for the
playing
lights,
on a field
okay?
and when the women
And they play
are.
on them
And
exclusively,
Peter has
they
to
pay the whole
keep-
$800.
Right, but like there's
But if the
times
cost is
like
$800,
for the end
and the
of the
women
season
play
for the women's
20 games
league,
under it,
we don't
then
play at.
they have
on
to
the
pay a
nights.
share
We
of that
give them the
$800
field
and
'cause
their
they
cost
wanna
goes
use
down.
So
the
just let
field.
your rep
Right.
know.
Yeah.
but then
So-
Just
they're
let your
playing
rep
less
know.
under the lights.
That'll be good.
They're gonna play the same amount of games under the lights regardless. It's whether the women play more or less.
But if they're playing the same amount of time under the lights, the cost for their electricity, because the lights are on that same time, is going to be the same.
Right. Yeah, and I don't care. I'm not
What I'm saying
arguing.
is, it ends up being whatever the total cost is. If the total cost is more because the women are playing under the lights,
Right.
then their cost may be the same. But if the cost was the same and the women play under the lights, then their share goes down.
Right.
If the total cost is the same, there's a big if there. If the total cost is the same, why would their share go up? Why would their share stay the same if the pie is $800?
I will say,
And the
ours
women
actually
play-
went down last year.
Right.
It was, you know,
Yeah.
I tried to tell, because before people would sit down the field, hang out, I'm like, go home, shut the lights off. I'm like, we can't afford that. And previous years before that, like, people would forget to shut the lights off, and like, I'd get a phone call, and like, hey, it's 1 o'clock, I just drove by the field and the lights on. I'm like, what? So now I gotta go down there and shut the lights off at 1 o'clock. And so we're trying to get that.
See,
That won't work anymore with
your
the
paid
being
umpire
here
would take
for-
care of that, because the women, the job of the umpire is to shut off the lights.
Oh, it is?
When he leaves, he shuts off the lights.
Oh. Well, we use their same umpire for playoffs. He don't do any of that stuff for us.
I think you have to ask. I think you have to
That's
ask.
nice.
He should.
Yeah, he doesn't do any of that. I should talk to him about that.
Yeah, say, hey, look, when you leave, shut the lights off.
Yeah, all right. I mean, if not, I'm just gonna say that you suggested that you would like the umpire for.
Those days
Okay,
are
you're
done
taking way
too.
too much of our time.
That's
Those
how I
days
felt about these two. I'm like, oh man.
I was like, we should have
Like,
gone first.
hopefully ours
Well, we
goes quick.
tried to balance who was gonna be quicker.
Yeah. No, you did a good job.
All right.
We're just
So
as long.
We have
like
your
I said,
info on there?
well,
Yes.
yeah, we're on here.
You
Yeah,
can read
good.
my chickens
you
for
guys,
that.
But I
can't
think
see.
we-
Oh,
You
my.
should
Good.
fill that
Let me
out
just
so they-
say-
And you know, an open line of communication is the best thing. I mean,
It's key.
we want everybody to have a good
Yeah.
time. We
No,
want
I
everybody to use the
agree.
fields.
Yep.
We love seeing the fields being used. And that's why I'm concerned with baseball. Hey, the last 2 years, there's been a lot of open fields over here.
Well,
And they're
that
happy.
was my thing last year, because like
Yeah.
the same thing you said, 2 years ago, I asked for that field and they said no, but that whole year, there was no use of that field.
No, you're right.
And then all of a sudden last year, I'm like, all right, I need it one night, can I use it? And I got the okay to use it, but I never see anybody there at night anymore. So I'm like, but I mean, I would love to play there, but I can't because
I
of
know.
Lights.
It's a
the
liability.
lighting, but yeah.
No, I understand.
So,
What are you?
Chelsea.
Sparky Lou.
yeah,
L-U.
Elliot.
I have to say one other. Chelsea?
Yeah.
That's 11-3 on Lakeville. You can.
All right.
No,
so-
you know the right person, because she's down the field all the time with her
And
daughters and
Chelsea,
stuff,
it's any time in between there. You don't have to stay the
Okay,
whole
and it is
day.
Cinco de Mayo. You said that.
Okay?
And
It's
if
gonna be
you don't
hot.
get there by 12, Melissa's cookies will be gone.
Okay.
Oh.
No, but
okay.
Loon Pond Lodge
You
will
ain't
be
gonna
open,
get a little
so,
small game going?
I'll
Just tell
see.
people not to crank
Look,
the ball.
it's so
I
tough
know.
Right.
with people. 'cause
Right.
Like I said, yeah,
but they're gonna enjoy the day because
will,
there's
but
everybody's
It's
not
getting them here.
I'm not worried about
It's
them
so
enjoying the
hard.
day. I'm
I-
worried about them tearing a
Hurting themselves.
hamstring
Yeah.
or.
I wouldn't even
We're gonna
go
be
that far.
playing soon
No,
anyway.
seriously, bring the ball, bring a
Yeah.
bat, bring the rules, talk to
It was
people.
amazing.
Yeah, especially the rules. I mean, nobody understands blooper ball. Every time
If you're
I've
from out of
watched
town,
it.
people don't get it.
That's so true. Men can't wear gloves. Why? I still don't know why.
I think if you just brought a blooper ball
Yeah.
and like put it on the table, people would be like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there a cooler name? Clinch ball? Clincher
Well,
ball?
no, that's the ball, the brand.
Scott,
that
it's
we
like
use.
candlepin bowling.
But-
Nobody
Right.
knows what candlepin bowling is. in
Oh,
Midwest. was.
But
Believe
like,
me, I wish I didn't know what it
in
was.
other parts of the country, like it's big in Minnesota.
Chicago.
You know, they call it Chicago ball in Chicago. They call it smash ball in.
See, that's so much
Minnesota.
cooler than
Blooper ball.
Blue-
And
That's
Smash
what
ball
it's-
is totally
It's
cooler.
what it's always been here.
People are like, you
though.
play anything? I'm like,
That was a name
Blooper
here.
ball.
Yeah, so.
Well,
and
Ted
that's-
brought it to town.
Yeah, and like I talked to guys that I've played men's softball with 17 years here, and they have played blooper ball since they started over there here, and they're still playing now. So
We need to rename it to Smash.
He just gave,
Ball,
Scott
whatever you
just
said.
gave you some history. Ted Williams brought blooper ball to town.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ted Williams himself.
Ted Williams
Did he
himself.
bring the
He used to
names
summer
down?
in, he used to summer in Lakeville.
Good
Fish.
fishing. All right.
Yeah, he was,
Well, I always wondered why the field was named Ted Williams. I just figured maybe
No,
somebody.
there used to be a
He had
baseball.
sports
he,
camp.
he was
A
part, he was
baseball
part
camp.
owner of the camp
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
with Lester Warburton and
Yeah,
Bertie
so
Cassidy.
that is good.
Yeah, and he used to
information.
come down, he used to come I'd say twice a year, he'd come down and talk with the kids and.
Well,
and,
He'd give batting instructions too, right?
yeah, yeah,
At the
yeah.
camp.
Well, he's
Okay.
here for 2 hours, I mean,
Yeah.
tough to get
that
guys
makes
in
She's
stretch.
like, meeting adjourned,
Let's
let's
get
go.
out of here.
Not adjourned.
Oh, God, you got more to go through. Okay,
Thank you
got
for
it.
Right.
coming.
So thank you guys very much for coming.
Thank
Phone
you.
call.
It's good to hear that you're taking the bull by the horns, that's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that I thought it was taken care of, and believe me, I didn't know that it went as far.
Yeah, when we
as
got
it
that
did.
email, we were like, what? is
Well,
that?
I'm talking about
Oh, that.
going to get the
Yeah.
police involved, you know.
Yeah.
with
Yeah, it's too bad.
Restraining order. I had no idea that happened.
That's too bad.
Like I said, I talked to my son, and I thought everything was good, but apparently it was.
All in the
That's right.
past.
Yep.
Yeah.
All in the past.
We appreciate that.
Move forward,
Yep.
move forward.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, have a great night.
Okay, review and possible vote on co-ed volleyball application for field time. I talked to Jamie today and she is still planning on bringing sand in. She just has to go through.
You have to do the blooper ball.
Oh, we didn't know.
Oh, do we have to,
We have to
approve
approve
the
it.
application or?
Didn't it say vote on blooper ball
Yeah.
application?
We haven't voted on blooper ball yet.
We have to vote on
Make a motion to accept the
application?
application.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion? Well, I don't see it on here, but it says meet with. But go ahead.
Isn't it?
That's part of it.
To me, it
I'm
was
sorry. You're
App-
right.
That's okay.
Blooper ball.
No,
We just did.
No, she's saying she didn't see anything about voting on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Scott?
Yes.
Aye. So unanimous to approve blooper balls.
Well, I think we did with the condition that we were having a meeting with you before.
Maybe you're right.
I
I
don't,
thi-
I don't
No, we
think
did not.
so.
Okay, Peter said no.
No, we
Okay.
We voted
denied
no.
the
Yeah, I thought
application
this was on
until
the
they met
agenda
with
too.
us.
Okay. All right,
It's all good.
next.
Volleyball.
He was talking about sand.
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry
so
about
I
that. Yeah.
talked to Jamie and she still intends to bring in sand by the time that their season starts. She just hasn't had time to go and take the rocks out, which she does.
The rocks?
Last year, she did it all by herself. She spent the whole weekend out there straining the sand to get out all the rocks.
Oh,
Hopefully she has help this year, but she wants to do that before she brings in the sand.
Are they gonna take the sand out that's there, or are they just gonna
No,
add
they're
more?
just gonna take the rocks out and just add more.
Okay.
Is the light work there? Didn't you fix the lights last?
We did not fix the lights. It's on the list of things to do.
Okay.
I don't see the application for
It's not
volleyball.
here.
But it's the same as usual.
I can look it up and read it
It's
to
the
you.
alternating nights from the Northeast Volleyball, right?
Yep. It's like Tuesday, Thursday, some Fridays. A motion to accept volleyball's application.
So
Make a
moved.
motion to accept volleyball's application.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so co-ed volleyball application for field time has been approved. Northeast Volleyball's application for field time.
Mr. Horseshoe.
Horseshoes, number 6.
Unless you did it on
Horseshoes.
purpose.
Nope, I was just looking at the, other thing. There's a doubles league and a singles league. And they combined their things this year, 5, 6.
There's 2 separate applications.
May 1st to August 21st is doubles.
What do you mean doubled?
Doubles. They have a
Teams.
doubles league and a singles league.
Oh, for,
Yeah, I don't know why they gave us 2
Horseshoes.
different.
okay. For
Maybe
both
the
both
Leagues are
seasons?
split up. Little bit different seasons, but not too bad. Any motion to accept horseshoes?
Make a motion to accept Horseshoe's application.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
When exactly are they starting and finishing?
May 1st to August 21st,
Okay.
and they play on Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Did they have any tournament time?
They have not submitted a tournament request to my knowledge.
Okay.
They have submitted them, but, they'll be on
Okay,
the next agenda.
okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All aye.
Let's go quick.
Horseshoes doubles accepted. Horseshoe singles, 16 weeks, Mondays, May 6th to August 26th.
Make a motion to accept.
I second.
Any discussion?
Do they pay for 2 seasons or is it just one?
No, just one.
Okay.
Their season's
They overlap.
under 4 months.
Again, they
so-
overlap our dates,
Mm.
but it's less
4
than,
months.
it's less than one.
They're not going till October, so we're
No.
not concerned about it. Okay.
No. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, all aye. Welcome, Horseshoe Singles Club.
Peter, everyone's up to date on insurance, right?
They have to be before they take the fields.
Yeah, just one.
If they're not, they won't get the field pass.
Okay.
Northeast Beach Volleyball. They play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 to 8 p.m., May 14th to August 2nd. They use all 3 courts.
I'm sorry, but, they start in May and they finish.
It's right on
Don't you
this.
have this?
Oh,
here?
you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't look underneath. All
They
right.
start May 14th and end August 2nd. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. They have 15 to 30 players.
Mhm.
They've been playing here for years too, right?
Yep.
Here it is.
A motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to accept Northeast Volleyball?
Aye.
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 All aye.
Oh,
Welcome back, Northeast Volleyball.
that's great.
Assigned park liaisons. Who wants what? We might as well start with Mike.
I would like to continue what I was doing.
What were you
Okay.
doing?
Capital projects is a big undertaking, as you will know. So is being chair. You think
So-
you can do both of those projects?
Well, this is what I want to discuss.
Okay,
Are you gonna continue doing Boston Tavern?
I can continue doing Boston Tavern.
Okay, that
Well,
would help.
Cranberry
Well,
catering.
yeah, whoever it is, it's best that you obviously stay on since you were the beginning. That's fine, I really wanna finish the North Fields. And after that, I'm more than happy for someone to take the rest of the capital projects.
When do you think you'll be over with North, after May 15th or before?
Well, not really, the fields will be ready to go, but I still have to deal with the Conservation Commission, and
Okay.
I still gotta do the turtle thing. But I will finish up North Fields, but we were approved for ARPA for the for the skate park.
We have not been officially
Well-
approved for ARPA for anything at this point in time.
No, I realize that. I'm just saying, the select board decides, but we have recommended
Yeah,
and talking to two of the select board, I think it's gonna go through. So there are future stuff, and that's a lot of work. So if anyone wants to please take capital, I'm more than happy to get rid of it.
not me.
Well, my thought was maybe do you want to, if you're gonna take over the chairmanship, maybe you give up the pickleball, volleyball.
Well, but the problem is, we don't have enough people to do everything, do we?
I realize that.
We had
I real-
4 last year,
I realize that.
I mean, it was-
I know we're gonna be down to 3.
and now we're only down to 3.
What are you talking about? There's 4 of us sitting right here.
Right, but normally the chairperson
Doesn't do
took
it.
a reduced role in those
Right.
things as
Right.
you did. You did Boston Tavern.
So the rest
Only
of us-
because you put in, so much time,
Right.
doing the other things.
Right.
You know.
Well, for the record, I also did more than Boston Tavern, but that's.
I know.
No, but I'm just saying, in general.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you did a lot on Ted Williams Camp.
Yeah, you did the whole park. You did the
Yeah.
whole, you
I mean,
handled
listen.
the whole park.
The new,
So back to liaisons.
yep,
So what do you want to do, Mike? You want to stay
I'll-
with
I'll
capital
stick-
projects? Do you want to,
I-
what do
I'll-
you want to do?
I will stay with, listen, tennis, pickleball, co-ed volleyball, New England beach ball is not a lot of work.
No, it's not.
DPW is not a problem. I would love to give up capital projects after I'm done with the Northfields.
So you want to revisit after
after
you're
you
done with
finish.
Northfield and
Sure.
all the ARPA projects come in?
Yeah, that would be
And,
fine.
and
Okay.
then what were the other 3 that you mentioned, besides capital?
Tennis and pickleball, co-ed volleyball, and beach volleyball.
There's,
Okay, let me get my
Right on the
paper.
sheet.
that's very
I'm
easy
looking
to
at
do.
one.
Right. So you are going to need to contact Jamie and coordinate sand and all that kind of stuff with
I
them.
will.
My question is on the DPW, because you and I spoke yesterday, and you had mentioned that I'm not allowed to speak to Frank and Ryan without talking to you first. So is that your expectation going forward for all of us, that we come to you and you speak to them? How is that gonna play out?
No, I want to clear up what it was.
Please.
When we did this last year and the year before, we decided that if anyone had issues with Frank, that he was gonna come to me and I talked to Frank.
What do you mean issues?
Because what was happening, Melissa, was you had 5 members of this board, and 4 of them were running down to Frank, and Frank was like,
Not me. I don't go near
No, we're
that.
just,
I want to deal with one person. That was the thing. He'd rather deal with one person, so that's why we made it a thing like this.
Okay.
That it was spearheaded. Not that we can't talk to Frank, but for the most part,
For the work, you mean?
yes. I mean, we that one person was the one that talked to Frank. We would say, hey, this is what we need. Talk to Frank and see if he can schedule it for us.
Right, so now we have papers that we have to fill out
For what?
to any work or anything that we need
A
Frank to
worksheet?
do. We have a work
worksheet.
request form
Okay.
that Mike will submit.
Right.
So when I need to talk to Frank about my playground walkways or anything like that, I go through Mike and Mike goes through Frank.
The things that my concerns are, is if we ask the kids here, Ryan and stuff, to do something that's out of their purview, a project, then we have to go to Frank to say, hey, we're gonna ask them to do a little project. Can you put them in the time, because Frank already has stuff for them to do. But if you have to talk to Frank about anything that has to do with if you're in charge of Clear Pond or Ted Williams or things like that, and you need to talk to him and say, hey, is there any chance that we can do something here and your guys can do it or whatever, that's not the issue. It's the issue of too many people going up to Ryan and telling him something or things like that. So, I mean, your perfect example is the playground. That's a capital project. You did that. But we really want to refrain from giving everyone mixed signals. That's all it is. And the only reason we did it was because a couple of years ago when West 3 there, it was the same with Town Hall. It was the same with that. Please, can we have one thing? So I was assigned that. That's all. I didn't ask for it, but I was assigned for it the last 2 years to deal with Frank, that if you did have any issues that these guys took away from their work, then we would ask Frank to put it on the schedule.
Right.
Scott, am I wrong, or?
No, that's.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's all.
So that we're limiting the amount of people coming in, Frank.
Understandable.
If you have Clear Pond, you got a problem down there, and you need something to be done, talk to Frank, and then he'll assign someone. He'll assign the guys who work from if you need
So,
to.
so we don't have to go to you to talk to Frank if there's a problem somewhere else, John Pond or
Well,
whatever?
No, the
Right,
issue-
you contradicted yourself.
No,
There's a
what I,
problem
no,
somewhere
no.
else.
What I'm saying is their job is to mow, fertilize, and weed whack,
Right,
okay? So anything that's above that, we need to get permission from him. So what happens is, say there's, some gravel needs to be put in or whatever, we need to go into Frank, are you capable of doing this?
But first,
Do
you
you
have
have
to do a
the
work
gravel?
order.
Yes,
So it's
first
gotta
we have
go
to
through the
work,
board.
right.
It's gotta go through the board as a work order.
I mean, it's a great idea, the work order,
It's not an idea, it's how it works.
but it
Like,
hadn't been done for the last 2 years, we never had
it
work
was done
orders.
this year every
was-
time.
yeah, and we did
was
it with
instituted
maintenance,
The last half of the last year I was,
yeah.
We're just trying to not have everyone telling the employees what to do, that's all. That's all. I'm
Okay,
just-
because
I'm
that
just
was
trying-
not the impression I got when we spoke yesterday.
No.
But that's fine. All right, what else? So if you're done picking you want tennis, pickleball, co-ed volleyball, Northeast Beach volleyball, DPW, and you will revisit capital projects after the Northfields are done.
Perfect.
Scott, what would you like?
I mean, I can stay with what I have. I know, Melissa, you would express interest in Clear Pond because you live right down the street. If you wanna jump in, I have no problem with that. I mean, we're gonna have other things here that need to be picked up.
Right,
Um,
I would, if
all
you
of-
don't mind, I would like to do Clear Pond
Yeah,
Park and
no,
work with Doug.
I know you expressed it last time, and I just pulled the trump card because I was the outgoing
Right.
chairman, and I had never done Clear Pond.
Right,
So,
There's a lot going on down there, too.
oh, I know, and Melissa can utilize it and give her,
We
give it
might
time.
be applying for some.
So I have no
funds
problem
from
with
you,
that.
too.
thank you. So that leaves you with the Freetown Lakeville Athletic Association, men's softball, samurai baseball, and martial arts.
Yep,
We have, Mike's keeping his, you're keeping that. Free Lake softball, women's blooper ball, and co-ed blooper ball is what Brenna
yep.
took. So if we get somebody else, we can assign them John Pond Park, but until then,
I
we need
believe I
somebody to
also,
take
I
those.
have Horseshoes Women's
Yep.
Soccer.
Paula
Freetown.
has
Okay.
Horseshoes Women's Soccer, Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club.
Okay, and,
Anybody want a softball, or I don't mind softball.
I can
take
do
softball.
women's blooper ball if somebody takes on that co-ed, problem.
Paula will take women's.
Scott, you were pretty tight with them.
Yeah,
Scott, you want co-ed?
fine. I don't have a problem with
You're the best.
That way you can referee their games.
it. Yeah, right?
And if we
Nice
get
try.
another,
Do you want that?
member, then maybe we can, sort of introduce them
So
to.
everyone's gonna contact their reps this week?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Or-
just need
or-
contacts. We just need contact numbers before we leave, that's all.
Yeah,
Well,
also,
Peter can do
Peter
that
should
and send
send
it
it
to
out.
us.
Fantastic.
Discuss and possible vote on combination locks for Ted Williams Camp bathrooms. So we had a problem with our bathrooms. When they went to open the bathrooms, the bathroom locks wouldn't work. And I guess there's been a problem and nobody just said anything, like they had to jiggle, they had to wiggle, whatever. So I guess somebody sprayed them with WD-40 and they opened up. So they had asked for new locks. So I thought before we put new locks on, we needed to discuss if we were putting combination locks or smart locks or something else on before we replace them and have to replace them again.
Or keep
If-
it,
Just
you-
one thought, we've gotta think about if we're doing a combination lock, you got a little kid that wants to run into the bathroom, somebody's gonna yell in the combination, because it locks after you lock the door. You don't have a choice to keep it unlocked, or,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying?
So there's no like override.
combination lock, can't they just take it off and,
No, no, we're not talking about a combination lock like that, we're talking about like the one on the maintenance
Keypad?
building, keypad.
okay.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were talking about a few
Right.
meetings ago. And I got thinking about that, and it's a great idea. The problem is when you shut the door locks.
Right.
So now the next little kid running in, what's the combination?
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying we could have an issue unless we can keep them. But now someone's gonna go at the end of the night and make sure they're locked.
Right, if you do that, so the last person here would have to
if
do
you
it.
open them,
So that's the question. Do you want the last person here to have to do that? Or do you want to just leave them open 24/7, right? Cause isn't that the other option?
I don't wanna leave them 24/7.
So what's the option?
Is there another option for a combination lock? I mean, where,
John used to lock up when he left,
When he left,
you know, we can ask him to do that again, but, that's not every night.
right,
You know, he's not here on the weekends per se, he's here during the afternoons on the weekends.
Yeah.
right,
not
so
at
then
night.
nobody would open it up until,
Right, and that's the other thing, like Ryan or whoever was here, John Vickery, you know, they opened it up when they came in the morning, they were open all day.
which is good Monday through Friday.
And it's great Monday through Friday, but they're not here on the weekends.
No, Saturday morning, that would be a huge bummer.
Right, you know, that's why,
and Bob is here on the weekend, but is he here every weekend and what time does he
Not
leave?
no, his hours change because he still works on the weekends sometimes.
Oh.
You know, depending on what's going on. So, I mean, we don't have a certain person like we had in Linda. Linda used to be here at 7:00 in the morning on the weekends. She would unlock the doors. And I don't think any one of us want to be assigned the task of coming down and opening up the doors at 7:00 in the morning,
No,
Saturdays and Sundays.
nor locking them at 10 o'clock at night.
Absolutely. So I don't know the solution. I've been trying to think about it, and I know I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about the locks, right? And I that's what I said to myself. I said that could be a problem.
Right. So in our family, we have smart locks. So those override. So in the morning, or whenever, if we're going in and out, you just flip the switch and then you go in and out as much as you want. And you can set a timer that it locks automatically at a certain time. So if you
can set a
forget
timer.
to,
Well, that's. I mean, you can set a timer for 10:00. Everyone's gone, but
Right.
that way they lock. I mean,
right. But is there, and I should have checked this and I didn't, is there a push bar on the doors to get out? Because you don't want to lock somebody in at 10 o'clock at night.
They're not push bars.
So
They're just
that
handles.
is the problem with that.
Yeah,
I
we'd have
mean,
to-
once
we'd
it
have to-
locks,
we'd
you
have-
can't even unlock it from the inside
unless you have
to
a push
get
bar.
out?
You could flip the switch and get out. But who's gonna know to do that? We would have to put a sign up saying,
Right.
if you're locked in, please flip this, do this, and this.
Whereas if you had a push bar, it would open.
It would open.
Well, tell
You
me,
have the same type of work.
do we have teams playing here after 10 at night?
After 10 at night?
No, that's
No, the park
So
was,
we should be able to lock without a problem.
would have to buy those locks.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
I'm saying we should be able
You
to
should be.
lock it with what she's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I just said. If that works, that you can set a timer on it,
Yeah,
then we set a timer for 10:00 and we know everybody's gone by 10:00. Well, I mean, sometimes they play volleyball until the lights go out, so,
Right,
you know,
Yeah.
we'd have to wait till the timer shuts off and,
right. They should be out and nobody should be here at 10 o'clock at night.
I thought
But
it was
you
open
don't wanna
only
get-
till 9.
You don't want to get that phone call
Yeah.
from somebody that's locked in the bathroom. That is not going to be a good look.
no.
Oh, they'll call the police.
Yeah. Again, not a good look.
Right, and I'm sure those are probably more than, just a regular keypad lock. I'm just,
Is it electric?
It's not as much as you would think it
No.
is.
oh, good.
No.
Oh, I
so
mean,
what's our solution?
well, I mean, if we can set a timer, that's huge. That to me, that would probably work.
So
Because
let's
that
try
was
it.
my concern is this little kid's, gonna need
Right.
the keypad and they can't get in or can't get out if it locks, you know?
Let's try
So,
it.
I mean, it's just a case of, we're talking 2 locks. Let's investigate the price and I'm all for it because I don't wanna be down here locking them
Right.
at 10:00 at night or unlocking them,
7 in the morning.
absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you're driving through to work
Okay.
anyway.
And on Saturday and Sunday,
Right.
I'm not working today
Right.
or tomorrow.
I will look into those.
Okay.
Discuss and possible vote to withdraw Community Preservation Committee Step 2 application for funding for Clear Pond Park fence. Paula, do you want to take that one quickly, please?
What is this?
It's the CPC.
Okay,
For
I'll
Clear
just
Pond
read real
fence.
quick. I'll give you a summation. Definitely, the CPC did not look favorably on putting a fence. And not everybody, but the majority. So there was a letter that went out to, an email that went out to Franklin, which I was not privy to. And it did not come to the rest of the committee. So it was the first I heard of it when I got in and found the email on the back of Doug
So
Berry's
it was sent by-
letter.
It was sent by another member of your board?
Yeah, the chairman. She
So
texted,
that
or
should
she
be-
spoke to Franklin, and she asked him what, his public comments or recommendations would be regarding this. And they also pinpointed this to me. They didn't want the fence, but, after looking at further, at the property, he recommended a survey to stake out the fence placement. This would ensure the fence doesn't interfere with any public utilities and road layout. There are multiple public utilities in close proximity to the proposed fence. And also the Clear Pond staff should be held responsible for maintenance of the fence line. So I couldn't understand why you had to maintain a fence, but apparently they're concerned about weeds growing up in the fence. And what if a tree falls on it? All kinds of things. So my recommendation is that we withdraw it because they didn't really think that the 20,000 for recreation in terms of protecting the environment and vandalism, people getting through, blah, 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 was a good cause. So we could have gone back and got it surveyed and did all these things and find out who's gonna chop the tree down or take the weeds out of the fence. Because maintenance doesn't do that. So, I mean, DPW. So knowing that we can't afford a surveyor and all that,
We don't have enough kids to do that. We don't hire enough kids.
And
They don't
you're not
go
gonna
on
pay
that side.
$20 an hour to
Yeah.
take out weeds from a galvanized steel
right,
fence.
which the DPW does mow along there, but I guess, there's this issue with weeds and,
So Paul, that money stays in our pot. and
That
can
was,
Oh,
be-
right.
that was my next question.
it's
was what-
not
now what
our
happens to
pot.
that money?
No, but
No.
we're supposed
We
to get.
never-
a
we
certain
never-
amount each
We are
year.
not guaranteed anything. Parks and recreation combined with open space, we share the same 10%.
Got it.
So, and
We-
just because we fall into that category, we're not the only ones that fall into that category. And anybody can apply for that money, even a private, like the Lakeville Museum,
if you
Historical
wanted to- if
Society
you
is a
wanted to
private
I got it.
company,
your
and they applied
property
and
open
received a
space.
grant.
As a private person, you can do that too.
Is there anybody else applying for anything?
No,
Not yet, but since we share the pot with open space, I guess they want to be frugal and,
well,
So my question is, so that money stays in the pot for
Yeah.
open space recreation?
yes,
yes.
And
Yeah.
would build when they add
Yes.
the new tax
Right.
levy?
yeah,
So there'll be a bigger chunk available for open space and recreation?
correct.
Yes.
So we never really got to
Yeah,
the
so,
point where we were gonna get the 20 because it would have to go before the select board after it was recommended. And they were not very keen on the idea and came up with a lot of roadblocks.
The selectmen?
no,
Huh?
the CPC.
Oh, the
The
CPC.
CPC, and since there were so many roadblocks and things we couldn't afford, I don't think it's worth pursuing.
No, the CPC, when we talked about putting in the CPC and we all voted to put in the CPC, that it is not, it didn't turn out to be what I thought it was. Like, I thought that they were gonna be, we would work together to make improvements. Nancy Yates sent out a questionnaire to everybody saying, what would you like done? And most people responded that they would like to see everything fixed before new land was purchased. But those, what people asked for in those surveys does not seem to be the priority of the current CPC, which is, I mean, it's a CPC, members at large and other organizations
So we,
send representatives.
yeah.
So I guess the other organizations, I guess they're behind what the CPC is doing, right? Because their representative is voting that way. So maybe we're the minority, but it doesn't seem like they wanna work with us to get projects done.
Okay. So-
When recreation comes into it, it's a little bit tougher, and I think it's because we're sharing the 10% with open space.
But I mean, if open space didn't apply for anything,
Well, at one time, they were trying to get some land, and then this parcel of land wasn't even something that the select board was interested in. And we had a executive session, and it was discussed, and they weren't interested in picking up this parcel. But that was, one of the goals, to get
so they wanna
this.
put this money away for open space is what they wanna do.
That is
That's,
what it
Consensus.
looks like to me.
that's what it looks like to me.
They're the gatekeeper and
This
they
is
can
the
do whatever they
second
want.
time that we've had recreation, two
Yeah.
applications have been done for recreation, and
We
it's,
got the first one.
it's not been, no.
The
And
John Pond,
Brenna
oh yeah,
Brenna went
Brenna
under
put something
recreation to
together.
get something done at the school, but, that didn't fall under the right criteria. And
Okay.
We're on our own.
All right, so let's vote to
withdraw.
withdraw step 2 application. A motion,
I make a motion to withdraw the application to the CPC.
second,
Second,
discussion. All in favor?
aye.
Michael?
Capital projects update.
No,
You gotta vote.
you gotta
Oh,
vote.
I vote aye. I apologize.
All aye.
I was kind of
Well,
ambushed.
Peter,
when
if
I
you
got
can
there.
send
That's
the
too bad.
CPC a
Big time.
letter, an official letter saying that we respectfully withdraw our project, that would be appreciated. Okay, Lakeville Day update. May 5th, Michael has volunteered to take on the Clear Pond booth because Mr. Berry has a baseball
Do I have
so
to wear
he
my
can't come.
swimsuit or something?
Please don't.
Okay.
Don't you have a Speedo?
No, really?
Until
No.
May 5th?
Inappropriate.
People will run.
Yeah,
May
Sunday,
5th?
May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
May 5th.
Yeah, 11 to 3.
I talked to Heather today. They were working out the menu, but they'll have margaritas, some sort of taco bowl, a burrito bowl.
Nice.
They're lighting up the big fire pit again for us, so they'll sell s'mores kits. We discussed Choco Tacos, so that'll probably be weather if it's
It's a
warm,
Sunday.
maybe.
What time?
It's a Sunday, 11 to 3.
Sorry.
We've got
I talked
over
to Peter
20
Marshall
vendors.
at the Lions, and he texted me, so they'll come help us with parking.
Okay.
And there was a request from volleyball, to leave a space so people can get in. You can park there. Deb said it was okay, just they needed,
So
space
that's
to
a
get
request
into.
from Horseshoes.
Yeah, from Horseshoes, I'm sorry, too, so that, people can get in. Last year, they were blocked in.
Right, okay, so we'll make sure that happens this year. Any questions on Lakeville Day?
Do we have any extra vendors? I got Ace is coming too.
Okay, we can talk
Yeah.
about who's coming after, not
Yeah.
waste everybody's time. Okay, no questions, we'll go on. 2025 budget update. We had our budget hearing this afternoon, it went well. I don't know,
Oh, tell us about it.
it went surprisingly well.
How much is
They
our
had,
budget?
our budget is almost $300,000. It, we had a lot of questions like, why is this so much more? So I had to explain, we have the commissioners' fields are opening up, so we have that. Brian Day asked, said he watched the Capitol session, and he wanted to know why Commissioner Smith said that he was putting in a well for $15,000.
That's not what I said.
And so I explained that the well was already there, that we're just running the pipes across. And Leah reaffirmed, and
So he,
we're
yeah,
already,
yeah, got
it's already
confused.
there, no worries. So, nobody said, we're not giving you that, nobody said, that's absurd, nobody said, what were you thinking? So I consider it a success.
Good news.
Any other, budget? Peter, do you have any budget updates? Oh, does the rubbish, wind waste fall into budget updates? So we had it's gonna affect our budget. So we had a 20-yard dumpster. Wind Waste no longer carries 20-yard dumpsters. So Boston Tavern asked for a dumpster that locked because people are throwing mattresses in, throwing furniture
Oh my
in, throwing
They leave the doors open.
all kinds of things in. So they asked for one that
The
locked.
side
Well,
doors don't have locks.
No, but I'm saying they leave the doors open, so
Oh, to
anybody
the
driving by,
fence.
Oh.
instead of
Yeah.
closing them, and people.
Right. So Wind Waste came and switched out our dumpsters to one that locks. However, they took our old dumpster, and the biggest dumpster they have are 10-yard dumpsters. So we lost twice half
Yeah.
of our.
So the
20.
price, I'm assuming the price went down?
No, because we were being charged for a 10-yard dumpster because they didn't know we had a 20-yard dumpster. So,
It fills up quick now with events.
right, because it's half as much. So I walked a couple weeks ago, and on a Monday, and I went by, and like it was heaping over. So I'm like, what's going on with the dumpsters?
Well,
So we're gonna see how it works. And Peter looked into it, and we could get 2 dumpsters, but that would be $330 times 2. So that would be $660 for a 20-yard dumpster. Or it's $100 if we call and they come out and have to do an extra dump. So we're gonna try
that's
doing
a little
that.
more feasible.
Yeah, because
more feasible.
maybe not every week we have a dump. So,
Right, and I mean, coming up, we've got Clear Ponds is gonna be activated.
yep.
That's
John
gonna get
Pond will
activated.
be.
John Pond's gonna get activated.
And the
we're
North
talking,
Fields.
we're gonna need one down in North Fields.
Yep.
I mean, not a big one, but we're gonna
Well,
need
you only
one.
get a 10-yarder.
There you go.
So,
Right, so I mean, we're gonna need one down there.
yeah.
Melissa,
And-
is
and
it
that-
60/40?
But that leaves,
60/40
that
for
leaves nothing
rubbish.
for the park.
Right.
Because obviously, if they're filling up a 10-yarder, then we can't be adding to it.
Right. So, unless we get it dumped. So, our trash
But
day,
when that
Ryan
rains.
picks up all our trash on Monday, and the dumpster people come on Tuesday. So, if there's no room in the dumpster on Monday, maybe Ryan does it on Wednesday after it's emptied on Tuesday. And then if we need another, if it's filled up, or Loon Pond Lodge has 5 events, then we have to dump it on Friday as well. And maybe Ryan does trash on Tuesday or Friday or Wednesday
April
and
and
Friday.
May
Or
It is
busy
Loon
for
Pond paying
Right.
for that dumpster?
they pay 40% of that dumpster.
But
If
if
we
we-
got our own dumpster, we would pay for our own dumpster and 40% of that dumpster because that's in our contract that we share the cost of
I was
that
gonna
dumpster.
say, why don't we just drop that
Yeah,
one and give
no.
it to Loon Pond, and
But we
then
can't.
we can put a dumpster near the maintenance building.
You could, but
Well,
I
but-
talked to Ryan, and he doesn't really want a dumpster at the
No.
maintenance building because then everybody else stops and dumps their stuff.
Yeah,
The kids
yeah.
play on it. They play.
Yeah,
God forbid they play in it.
so we're
Again,
gonna,
we'd have to get a
we're
lock
gonna
in there.
have to
And
have
locks.
a 20-yard dumpster.
We don't
And-
have
an
a
empty,
20-yard dumpster is not an option. They only
10.
have 10.
so we'll have to have a 10-yard dumpster twice a week emptied. Is that correct?
That is correct. Possibly. Like we don't have to have it dumped
Right.
every week. We can call them when it gets full and then they come and dump it. But they don't pick up on Saturdays, so that decision has to be made on Thursday whether they come and pick it up on Friday or if it can wait till Monday.
The real issue is, are they breaking down boxes? Because if you throw a box in
That's
Yeah.
right.
and it's just sitting there, it's gonna take a lot of room. You break down a box,
What about-
and that includes Ryan and
What,
Loon
what
Pond.
about a cardboard container? They have separate cardboard containers with a
Recycling
slot
containers.
that's this big that
Yeah.
you've got to break the box down. I'm just saying.
Because I bet you
Right,
if we go over there, we're gonna see a lot of boxes that weren't
Oh,
broken
I'm sure.
down. So they really, in any restaurant industry, we had to do it
Yeah.
because we had to pay for the pickups. And if you just throw them in, it's lazy, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's our guys too.
I haven't seen it. Most of what when it was overflowing, it was trash bags. So I don't know what was on the bottom. I did not dig
Right,
through it.
but hopefully
But we
locking
can-
it will help because I know I've seen people drive up and throw it in.
Right. But my only concern is they're still gonna drive up and throw it. It's just now not gonna be in because like you've seen stuff. Like,
Camera.
well, I don't know if the cameras are going to be that spot on to see somebody dump in our.
Well, I'll explain that when I do
Yeah.
the project.
All right, so that's that.
Big money.
did we skip you? Capital projects
So- I'm
update,
sorry, so what
including
did we
Commissioner's
decide
Field.
about the?
That was just an update, we didn't, made no decision.
Are we going to?
No, it's
No.
not on our agenda,
Oh, okay,
It was an update.
it was an update.
okay, that's fine, we can't do anything else.
Capital projects update,
Okay, so, as Melissa said, nothing's been approved for ARPA, but we did have a ARPA meeting and capital project requests. So we approved mostly everything that goes to the select board says yes or no. So as far as we're concerned, we're hoping we get the skate park, which would be great. The playgrounds and basketball courts weren't recommended, but the playground at John Park was. So we will know, it's in their hands. Also, as it pertains to us, is the security system, a camera security system,
Bless you.
which, I have here. And the way it's gonna work is there are 4 cameras and they zoom in. It's amazing. You could be sitting on the playground and where it's gonna be, it'll zoom in to where it is, and it can go around 360. So we can put it over to where the tennis courts are, it can hit the playground, we can put one over by here, so we can hit Loon Pond. Okay, and over here, so there's 4 cameras that, I will walk around, meeting Officer Maltese to see where they can go, and it goes right to the police station, okay? We don't pay for any monitoring service or anything. They take care of everything,
So
but
they're
only at
gonna-
Ted Williams.
Only at 10.
Only at Ted Williams, okay? So I will give you more information at the next meeting. If it doesn't get approved in ARPA, then I'll be able to immediately start that with him.
And, they're gonna be doing the surveillance, are you gonna put up, any signs that say, surveillance cameras in the park? I mean. some-
Well, yeah, I mean, we bought some,
Yeah, we have some, so great.
yeah, well, we'll discuss,
Yeah, okay.
but we
I
do
just-
have them,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Um,
As far as the commissioner's fields are going, 75% of the hard work is done. We built the drainage. If you ever walk down there, the drains are in. They just need to cover over. They need to finish the last 30 feet down there to go over where the rocks are. Then he's going to be, start moving the piles. I know Scott was down there. Melissa, have you taken a walk down there
I
lately?
have,
Met with Milady. He's gonna start the fence next week. All right. We discussed where the openings of the fence are. Talked to Frank today on the timeline of the signs. First signs going up are the turtle signs in the conservation area. ASAP.
who's putting those up?
Frank takes care of all of that.
Does Frank know he's putting those up? Cause they've been in the shed. And
No, yeah, no.
I was told to let you know
Hmm.
that they were there.
As soon as they came in, I went there, and Frank has a timeline. He's putting in all the signs at Northfields, every single one. Okay, so,
is he gonna trim the fence over there?
well, to me, it looks good, but,
She's being facetious.
oh, so anyway,
Any fence?
so I talked to
On the
Frank
fields, you know,
this
how they
afternoon.
Put fence around the fields.
So we're looking for a May 1st date to have all the signs up down there, handicap signs. I'm ordering the signs from Peter next week about the alcohol and the pet poop and all of that. So we are on target. I think we're on target for everything by May 1st, to have the fields ready. We haven't discussed anything about the lining or, Mr. Clancy is,
What kind of lining? What are you talking? On the
lining
field?
the fields.
Don't the
Parking
teams
lot?
don't?
Yeah, no,
The parking lot.
Don't the teams do
yeah,
that?
and also Scott had brought up a good idea
Oh.
about using the line for the parking lot in the beginning, because people are just gonna park where they want. So, we go every week, I'm down there twice a day, I talk to people.
Were we waiting on bleachers, till after?
Yeah, we're not
Thanksgiving.
doing anything till after the season's over, and then we'll decide whether we need them or not.
Okay.
But the porta potties will be there. The handicap porta
The
potties
hand
will be there.
washes for the water, right? The porta potties, and there's something, so they wash their hands.
Hand washing
This hand-
stations.
Yes.
Well, there's, in the porta pots you have,
Right,
So-
but we weren't gonna use it because of the water.
there's no water in the porta pots. It was when we brought our executive bathroom
Bathroom
down
over.
there
Oh,
that we were trying to,
okay, yes,
because of the fact we'd have to test the water,
yeah.
we were gonna try and see if we could shut off the water to the
Faucet,
sinks, thank
yeah.
you, and put hand washing stations,
Right.
soap.
Are
So
we
the good-
still gonna use
The good news
the
is that,
the trailer porta pot?
Well, but that's the thing, we've gotta get water and electric over there first.
Okay,
So that's gotta come from
Right.
the other side of the field, it's gotta come between the fields to where they meet. And that's where that
Right.
would go. There's no reason to even bring it down there until we have
Right.
water and
So-
electric.
once we get that approved, nobody's planning the summer, so we can build the trench.
yeah,
I'll talk to prices, I mean, Clancy will build the trench and put the piping in.
Well, it has to go out, you have to get bids. You can't just say Clancy is going to.
No, I'm saying that whoever does the trench can also do, like I said, I could get 3 different bids for $3,000 each. So my point, it isn't a $1,000 project. Okay, it isn't, you do it for 15,000 because I need someone to run the electric. That's one person, that could be $1,500. Then there's the pipe, that could be another $1,500. And then there's a trench, could be, the 15,000's in there because we didn't know if we're gonna do and how much it is. It's not gonna come anywhere close to that.
No,
So it doesn't have to be an RFP to go out,
yeah.
but we can give her stuff and go bids, but we're talking probably 2 contractors up to $6,000-7,000.
When they, bring the pipes in, do they hitch it up to, the trailer?
They'll just run the
Oh, do we
water.
have to get a separate
No.
plumber?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They'll probably bring it over and dead end it,
Yeah,
and then we'll have to hire the town plumber to come in and hook
Okay.
it.
yeah,
From
same with the
there-
electric,
To the trailer,
And the electric, right, to
Yeah.
the trailer.
because it
Because
has to,
we gotta actually, in a sense, bury that up to the trailer.
right?
yeah,
Where we had the hose down there, we were lucky that no one disconnected that hose and we had a
Right.
pond out there.
Yeah.
Because
Right, or
that happens,
septic.
you know, or someone walks away with the electric. That, because we bought that, we went out and had that made, that electric hookup, that's an RV hookup.
Uh-huh.
You know, heavy duty RV hookup that we paid for, but it's like, I don't know, 15 feet long, say, right? But we paid for that. We're lucky no one walked away with that. It's like a heavy duty extension cord for an RV.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how that hooks up. It's very much,
And by the way,
very similar to an RV.
it's a 4-foot trench.
Yeah.
Because of the frost and everything.
So once you get the water and the electric in, we just have to have a separate person that hitches it
Yeah.
up to the
Yeah, it
trailer,
could be for
and then
security
we're good
light.
to go with the
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
Okay.
As long as who's ever down there running the fields understands that it's their responsibility to take care of it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, talked to Lorraine when I was talking about Northfields and when the project was gonna be done, and, so what we'd like to do is on May 20th, that's a Monday night of a select board meeting. They can put us on the agenda at 5:30, and we can do a little grand opening over there.
Oh,
Cut the ribbon. We'll invite the previous commissioners, Mike Nolan, Danny Hopkins, and Phil Bernier. And then we'll have us commissioners there, and we'll just do an opening, maybe invite the Nemaska people, because it's been how many years?
Yeah,
And then I'm having, I'm gonna
that's
meet.
good promotion.
Yeah, and then I'm having a field that's gonna, a sign that's gonna say, welcome to Commissioners Field, established 2024. I'll do a design on it, I'll show it to you guys, and then we'll try to get it done as soon as possible. That's gonna go through Frank, by the way. Okay, same company who's doing our sign.
You mean the design on the?
Well, listen, it's basically a sign, a metal sign like you see, and it's gonna be at the end of the driveway when you're driving down before the parking lot.
Yeah.
Welcome to Commissioners Field. We can just do that, or we can put established 2024. So,
Our liaison person is Brenner, I think. She does design.
well, I have
That
to,
has not been established yet either.
so,
Oh,
but to be
okay.
honest with you, I have to do this ASAP. So
Oh,
we'll have
okay.
it by then.
Yeah, right, if you're gonna have it.
All
Yeah,
right.
just so we have it by then. So please mark your calendars.
For what?
For what?
May
what day?
20th.
May
5:30.
20th, 5:30. And that's it?
Okay. Review and vote to approve minutes of April 4th, 2024.
Oh,
Any errors, additions, or what?
we weren't here.
I wasn't here.
There
No.
was I was wondering.
Michael, did you find anything then?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
I looked briefly.
No, item number 9. It says, Melissa Turcott reminded the commission of the agreement per person waived. Sand, she recommended that the sand be added by May 1st, 2024, and an invoice provided to the park commission. That was not me, that was Michael, because May 1st is a week away, so that's not gonna happen. That wasn't me, that was Mike. I went through and watched the video today. That was the only thing. Did you need this, or are you good? All right. Any, motion to accept the minutes as changed?
Oh, I make a motion to accept the minutes as changed.
Second?
A second.
Any other discussion? All in favor is accepting the minutes with that change?
Aye.
Aye.
Paula? Accept the minutes?
Yes.
All aye, the minutes are accepted. Number 15, review and update project list. Security cameras, Mike is working on. New lights for volleyball. Who has volleyball? Michael does?
Yep.
So you'll check with
I will
Paul
check
Nee
with Paul
and
Nee.
see how that's going.
Yep.
Office repairs, we've already sent in
Requisition.
work request form to Paul Nee to check on that. The update is, last time it rained and Peter and I were in the office, the roof was leaking and it was coming in through the light where the bucket is stationed
Oh,
at the
boy.
bottom. So Mike, you might wanna check on that
Don't turn that light on.
as well. New sand and volleyball courts, Jamie's gonna take care of that as soon as she can. Repair of bocce ball courts, hopefully, I'll put that on Bob's list, hopefully he can get that done this spring. Repair of footbridge behind Loon Pond Lodge, Paul Nee is working on that.
What needs to be done to that? I've walked through there twice and
It's sinking. So if you start at the Loon Pond Lodge and you walk across the footbridge, the right-hand corner is down like an inch
I
or
probably didn't walk on
and
it,
it's
so that's why.
going
That was
down.
like 3
Okay,
inches.
that's why.
Well, for somebody working in heels, doesn't really matter if it's an inch or 3 inches when you're walking across it in your wedding dress and
Okay.
Yeah, no, I walked over and I stood and I looked at it and I go, I don't see anything wrong.
right. So the board underneath is rotted. So Paul had a few ideas to take care of it, but they started.
Have they started?
Well, they took the flower pots were on
Yeah.
each side, so those are now emptied so that he can get in there and take it apart. So that should be done in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Fascia boards at Ted Williams Camp, that work request has already gone in. Paul's gonna wrap them with aluminum and put them back up. TWC baseball hat, waiting on the Lions Club. I don't know if that project is still in the works because I know there has been some hierarchy changes at the Lakeville Lions Club. So the
Right,
people who
but-
said they were gonna do it
Okay.
are no longer there.
The last I heard from Mark, that they was gonna do it. He's in Rainham now, but
Yes.
Oh, he left Lakeville?
Yes.
Oh,
Did you see someone posted on Facebook about the hat?
No.
Someone was walking around the park and saw the hat and they go, and then someone posted a picture of where it was up before. And then they posted, well, this is a shame that it's not up and why isn't it in storage and things like that. So it just happened yesterday, I noticed.
well, you know what?
They're not totally
Is
wrong. It
it
was out there all
something?
winter.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's something that?
well, I mean, yeah, I've been told half a dozen times it was gonna go up in the past
Right.
2
Yeah.
years and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it hasn't. And I've been told recently they're getting over here, but, you know, I don't know.
So I don't know what we want to do on that.
I would put in a work order to Paul Nee, and if he can't do it, he'll tell us, right?
It's not easy.
No, and it'll
Right,
be,
but I'm
it's
sure he can
not-
get help.
it's not important, so
Right.
it's gonna be on the bottom of the list, on the bottom of the
It-
list,
it-
on the bottom, so it's
it's-
never gonna get done,
but
but we
it's-
can, you can absolutely put in a work order.
Yeah, let's put in a work order. If it's on the bottom of the list, he'll get to it when he gets to it.
Eagle Scout project, I haven't heard anything on our Eagle Scout project since the
Oh,
last time, so I have no idea what the status of that is. Lakeville Day, we touched on that.
Yeah.
And
We
then,
should probably add to this, lights for the Little League field. I mean, I know it's been an ongoing issue, but it should
right,
be-
so we had that estimate that Paul got, maybe we need to break that out. Do you have any idea, Peter, where that could be? I can go through mine too. TWC light estimate,
And what, lights for the volleyball, or is that already on here?
lights
on.
for the volleyball should be already on here.
Yeah, okay.
And we voted to approve that because it wasn't that much money. And the, town electrician said that it would be better,
To
cause
replace-
that was the
those are all
question, right? Replace the bulbs or replace the lights, and he said it'll be better just to replace the lights. So,
Yeah, cause, you know, thinking about it, you replace those lights over there at the Little League field and then the old ones are gonna go. And we're gonna
Yeah.
be back in the same situation
Right.
2 years from now.
right, and maybe, I know part of the problem right now with our lights is they're so high, we can't get to
Yes,
them.
yep.
Maybe when we replace them, we put the new lights up and we drop them. I mean, I don't know how high baseball lights have to go, but the ones at John Pond Park aren't as high as the ones at,
Right, but that's
Siblings
not
camp.
a Little League field that was sanctioned for Little League. They have to be so high
Oh.
to be tournament play.
That's when someone took over LPA and ran.
so is that, do our lights currently meet that or exceed that? Or we have no idea, cause we really don't know how high they are.
I believe they met the qualification for the height of the lights.
And that qualification is still in existence as far as you know?
As far as I know,
Yeah, we haven't looked at it in 15 years.
right, they're also part of,
Hey, Babe Ruth,
then
Cal
Yeah.
Ripken.
they're part of Cal Ripken, so I don't know what Cal Ripken's,
I don't think anyone's gonna go measure poles.
Because how do other people get their lights changed? Right, because every town must, if the lights have to be that high, everybody must have that same problem.
yeah, they probably use the town fire truck.
Oh, we have one of those now. But how, do you think our town fire truck could get in there?
Do you think
They
they'd
did-
allow it?
They put the birds back up in the nest, which is on top of the light pole.
Oh, that's true.
Man, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
You come
When
in the
did they do
back side and you're not
Yeah.
driving over anything.
Well, maybe that's something to think about.
That was pretty cool when I was up there.
They're up there, the babies are up there again.
Yeah,
Are they are they already?
Yep.
Because I saw the osprey flying around the other day and I was like, oh, he's back.
Yep, the babies were up there, we were walking and we saw the baby.
Oh,
All right, so that's done. Update project list.
Could a discussion on something?
It depends what it is.
Will you continue to do the sign?
why, you can't do it?
No, I'm asking. She's,
She's doing a great job with it now.
I don't know. I can get back to you on that. Let me think about that because last year I replaced one of the lifts that you hold it up, but I only did one side and it's starting to fall back down because I should have done them both, but the other side needs to be replaced. So you got to crawl under and do the letters, and the
Hold it
letters
up with your back.
don't fit because
Seriously?
they're too long, and then the space in the between the things, so your letters fall down, and it's just
I noticed that the letters are down. I go, that's unusual.
Yeah, they're
so
falling
Maybe we
through
should
the,
ask, maybe we
Alright.
should ask the Boy Scout that put it into, maybe he can repair it.
maybe they can, give us a new insert.
well, all things that we can look into.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So
Because we want to advertise May Day.
Lakeville Day, I pulled the
Yeah.
letters today between my
Okay.
meetings.
Which reminds me, we're missing letters because somebody took some letters
Yeah.
from the other.
Yeah, so some letters
Sign.
that we've needed, I've made.
Didn't we buy, I thought we bought new letters.
We
for
bought
that.
letters for this
This
one,
one.
we didn't buy letters for the other one.
Oh, I thought we bought. it for that
Because
one.
until that one has a cover, there's
Yeah.
no point in buying new
Yeah.
letters, so I've just
Where
been
is the
making
cover?
them as I needed them.
It's in the
All the-
supply room.
All the stuff to make the cover is in the supply room that Mike Casani,
Maybe we should
Right.
could put that on our,
Yep.
to-do
project
list,
Yeah, all right.
list,
for,
cover, precinct sign. Anybody wanna take that on as a project?
Sure.
I think we, would
Scott,
you?
perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Um,
I'll come over there and see what we need and see what we got.
and you can, get Bob Beach too, if you
Yep.
can, come down, he'll absolutely help you with that.
Yep, yep.
Needs a,
I saw Mike
list.
Casani yesterday, so.
Okay, before we adjourn, the select board meeting on Monday is going to discuss de-enterprising, well, if we're not really an enterprise fund, I don't know how to
We
do
are
that, but you
enterprise.
know what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, so apparently we're not a true enterprise fund because we've been taking the 17.5 subsidy for Clear Pond, so because they're subsidizing us, we're not a true enterprise fund. And apparently they've mentioned that for the last few years and nobody's done anything. So now they're looking into putting us as a department instead of a commission.
Meaning they take over.
And then
Yeah.
they take over
Okay.
Which means they get all the money from the park,
all the money
and we have
from
to ask for a
Loon
budget.
Pond Lodge.
And then they have to hire someone as
To-
an employee.
That
Yeah.
isn't necessarily
They're gonna have
the
to
Not
hire
case.
a-
necessarily.
No?
No,
Well, then how would groups sign up and all of that?
they're gonna see what it looks like.
Who's gonna
So-
sign up all the groups and deal with everything?
Well,
They
the
didn't say they
Monday,
would disband the park commission. They said they were talking about de-enterprising,
Oh,
taking
okay.
away the
Well,
enterprise
Is that what you
Right.
understand, Melissa?
yes,
Don't they
that,
have to go to the state to do that?
well, because we haven't been an enterprise fund, because we've been taking this money, I don't know the answer to that question.
I say we
Can-
turn it down.
Loophole.
Yeah, and
we
my,
turn it
my
down.
next question is, they are giving us 17.5 for Clear Pond. Did that come with a string attached?
We don't know.
Because if there's no,
It looks like it's
if
gonna
there's
be
nothing
no,
in
but
writing that says, you know, that
It's kind of new
we have to
business,
keep
isn't
it residential, I would like
Yeah.
to bring up to the board for the next meeting that
Well, he-
we try to get Middleborough and Freetown to come in and join us, even though they gave us the 17.5.
I say we turn down the 17.5 and open up to Freetown and Lakeville, Freetown and Middleborough.
Well,
So you can
they're-
do that anyway, they
they've
can
already
possibly do that
appropriated.
anyway. There's a possibility they'll give us the 17.5 and let us open up.
So I
Well,
believe
but
both of
if we
these,
turn down the 17.5, then we can stay an enterprise fund.
But what I'm saying,
unless,
I see.
because we've done
I
it
see
for
what you-
so many years.
It's only been
Yeah.
2 years.
They've
Maybe
only
3.
done it 2 years. This-
Maybe 3.
LaCamera, no, this
This
is,
LaCamera did.
this is our third
This would be the
year.
3rd year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they mentioned subsidized for 5 years. I don't know.
It hasn't
We
been
haven't
5
looked
years.
into
We-
it. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
they gave us
Both of those
50,000.
things I
Ah,
believe will be
ah.
discussed at the select
When
board
we didn't
meeting.
have any money
So
on
you
COVID.
need,
When the,
No more
when
than
the
2
enterprise fund
representatives.
doesn't
Well,
have
I'll
funds,
be
the
there.
town has to pay, period. That's got no contingency on whether it's an enterprise fund or not.
okay, so meeting on Monday, only 2 people can go. Michael's going. Does anybody else want to go?
Aren't you gonna
I'm not gonna go.
go? I'll go with you, Mike.
There you go.
Monday at what time?
You'll have to check. Sometimes it's 5:30, sometimes it's later.
And that's for, select board meeting?
Yep.
Well, they're doing the, all the other stuff too. So I was gonna go with capital expenditures, but I'll go with purpose.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, you can go as both.
Yes,
You just,
yeah.
Okay.
we can only have 2 people.
And do we have another candidate for the board? Yeah,
Nope,
we've
if
been
you
notified.
have, the select board gets to appoint somebody, so if you have anybody that's interested, they can submit a letter to the select board and,
Can-
Do we talk to
And they
them
usually,
first, though?
normally they ask for our recommendations.
Yes.
we don't have any letters.
I know, but they normally ask for, right, but we tell people to send a letter to the board,
Right,
and then they
right.
say, do we have any recommendations out of these names?
Right, so I
And
asked,
sometimes the select board puts out their, if interested.
Request, yes.
Please
And I
send a
believe-
letter of interest.
and I believe they're, I
doing
know
that.
I talked to Lorraine the other day and there's another position, I think the cemetery commission is missing somebody, so she was
And the
gonna,
cable advisory committee.
she was gonna do that.
Okay.
But
It's tough to get volunteers.
it is, but the select board, just so you know, if somebody does to the select board has the power to appoint the person.
Yeah, they're gonna
So
appoint
that's-
them, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying in the past, we've had quite a few times.
Right, that's how I got here,
Right.
Yeah.
and I came to you guys,
Right.
but that's,
Okay,
do we have a date for our next meeting? And are we staying, do you wanna talk about it
well,
now?
what was the answer to the 17.5 though?
What's the question? Does it come with strings?
Yeah.
That will be discussed at the next select board meeting.
Oh,
It
so
seems
they-
like
they
it will
didn't-
not have strings, but you know, because do we have permission, do we not have permission? Was it voted on, was it not voted on? So to
Because
get
my
all that off
understanding
the
was
table,
that was
they're
the
just gonna vote
decision
on
of
it.
the park commission. If they gave us the money and they appropriated it already, it's our decision whether or not we want to
Different
invite.
people will tell you different things, that's all I know.
Right,
Okay.
so on the next select board meeting or whenever they can, they're gonna decide that and put a once and for all, this is what it is.
Hopefully, okay.
Well, hopefully.
You know, I will
So that
push-
way,
I will
there'll be,
push it.
it'll be in writing, there'll be no,
Yeah, because we, you
Gray
know,
area.
we keep, we don't know where the line is, how's
don't know where
that?
the line is.
Plus,
Okay.
that doesn't fulfill the monetary need anyhow. It only puts a little Band-Aid on it.
Right,
That doesn't give us enough money to.
Right.
The
Break even.
17.5?
No.
No,
But-
we're still short about
But at
17.5.
least Middleborough and
Especially
Freetown,
with the increase in wages.
yeah.
Right,
Well,
we'll deal with it.
gonna deal with it. Okay,
well,
next
if we keep
meeting,
having the rain, we
Me
won't
too.
be open all summer.
So what are they saying? Because it's been 5 years, it hasn't been 5 years
It
that we've
hasn't.
received money. from
I
them.
don't think it,
Mr. LaCamera was the first person that gave us any money.
excuse me, on, they didn't say it had to be 5 years. They said we have received it, so because we've received it, it makes us not a true enterprise fund.
Wait, they've supplemented the
When we had no
the
money
dump for
during
years,
COVID,
and now they're,
Well,
Yeah.
that's, we're both together, right? So
Yeah,
they're coming with us.
yeah. I'll do some research, I'll kill some people.
Okay, so May 2nd, is that the date we're staying with? Are we
Yeah.
staying on the
I will
first and
not be
third
here.
Thursday of the month at 7
vacation
PM?
again.
I think we
I'm
stay
going
the
to
same.
Nashville.
You got your guitar?
Okay, so May 2nd
Oh,
and May
make sure you go to the Grand Ole Opry, I missed that.
16th.
16th. No, May 2nd is the day before the May meeting? 2
No,
days before?
May 2nd is Thursday, May 5th is.
No, I'm saying
Sunday.
it's the meeting before the.
Before Lakeville Day.
Yes,
Okay.
so we'll have more
So we have May 2nd definitely.
information, more signups.
And then what was it, May,
16th and May
16th.
2nd.
okay,
Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
I
Make a
motion,
to-
so moved.
I second.
Any discussion? Oh, it's my bedtime. 9:15. Lakeville Park Commission, meeting adjourned.